Fucking shit. Fucking shit. Fucking shit. Oh my god. Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? Man, I just woke the fuck up. After a long ass nap. I woke up. And now I'm fucking feeling drowsy. Shit. Okay. I'm a Sigma male grindset. You're a Sigma male fucking grindset. Why are you a Sigma male grindset? What makes you a Sigma male grindset? Yo, what's up? Hello, guys. To be honest, I kind of used the stream, the opportunity to stream to maybe, kind of, how to say this? Feel more awake, To kind of, I don't know, engage. I just don't feel fucking energetic today. I just feel like I have no energy today. I have no fucking energy. What's good? Can you describe the ignoring? Yeah, sure. The demonstrative is something you want to show off to the world. That's how you need to think of the demonstrative. It's not necessarily as nuanced, right? But you're good at it, okay? And you want to show it off. You want to earn praise. This is how you want to earn praise. For example, a great example of ignoring of demonstrative is David Goggins. He doesn't brag about his abilities when it comes to SI and his being able to endure physical pain and emotional pain. He doesn't really brag about it as much as he speaks about it, and he shows it. He shows this quality to people, and he wants to be recognized for this quality. He wants it to show it off. Like, look at this exemplary behavior. Look at this exemplary behavior. This is how it is. And this is the demonstrative. Now, with the ignoring simply submits to the will of the environment. That's how you're supposed to think about the ignoring. It simply adapts to the expectation of the environment, to society. So FI ignoring adapts its FI to the environment, the likes, dislikes, and personal attitudes to the environment. SI ignoring just goes along with sensations, good, bad, whatever the fuck, and they just get along with what is expected in the moment. Very adaptive in that way. So that's how I would describe both the demonstrative and the ignoring element. The demo obviously wants to show off the abilities, and the ignoring goes along with the will of other people in the environment. Dutch SO8 is sassy for me. It's not that sassy for me. I mean, I was watching Analyzing Evil, and I was watching other like content about Dutch. Seems like a socialite, I mean, the Robin Hood, he is rebellious against the oppressive governments because of how they believe they limit people's freedom, which is why he's so against it. That's his whole philosophy. He believes that there's no way for them to control people, and that's why he's so anti-government and anti-modernization. And he views himself as this Robin Hood, taking from the poor and giving to the rich, helping people in need, taking care of people who need to be who go rejected by society, and he kind of takes them in and helps them, shoots people that he thinks deserve to be shot, and does what the fuck he thinks. But at the end of the day, I think he's also shown to be excessive. He is selfish, focused on his own desires. That's how I view it. But when I was looking at how they were describing his story, There were some good channels doing a breakdown of his character. I thought it fit social 8 stereotypically almost, I think people see someone who, okay, he's a Robin, he wants to be the Robin Hood type. He wants to, right, help or have an impact. His gang is different because his gang has code of conduct. His gang has certain rules that they abide by. And people are quick to say he's social too. Like, why the fuck is he a social too? Like, what makes him a fucking duke? Or just because he's prideful? Is it because he's arrogant or maybe narcissistic? Like, I just don't think he's a fucking EIE anyway. What's up? What's up? What's the Sonics type and Enneagram host Jinx from Arrogance? At least MBTI, I often see her typed as an ENFP, but I don't see an E. Why don't you see an E? I mean, I think she's probably like an IE sexual 7, Ubersberg. That's what she seems to me. I type RDR1 and RDR2 touch different. It's simply different character. Yeah, maybe it's different, but what I'm talking about is not really RDR1. I'm talking about RDR2. When he was the Robin Hood, rebelling against the oppressive government and seeing himself that way, trying to do good by others, I did not see social 2. I could see a social 8. So to me, it wasn't a problem. I think in Red Dead Redemption 1, he was less of a social 8 even, because the guy was he was out there. He was long gone, in the Red Dead Redemption 2, at least in the beginning, he seemed like a healthy manifestation of social 8. And later down the line, he became paranoid. Later down the line, he thought people were kind of plotting against him. And, that's kind of what happened. He started fucking deteriorating, killing motherfuckers left and right. That's what I think. If you are familiar with Marilyn Manson, what do you see him as? He's controversial. I don't know. Marilyn Manson. I've seen people say he's an SCE social 8, but people used to type him EIE before. He's definitely not an EIE. I don't think he's an EIE at all. I'm not sure who he is. Maybe ESI. I'm open to SCE social 8, but maybe ESI social 4. I think that could also be ESI social 4 could be entertained for him. Which type FI is worse? I don't think either FI is worse. I think both are fucked. So I don't think either is worse. Now that I've learned more about it, I think both are fucked up. How do you distinguish 5 core from 6 core? Rationality. 6 core is hyper focused and hyper fixated in rationality on logic, reasoning, linear type of thinking. Everything is linear. The 5 core is not as logical. They're more open. There's more openness to interpretation. There's more abstraction. There's more tweakism. There's more schizophrenia in a way, like schizotypal shit. With the 6 core, this is rationality, reasoning, rigidity. Inside of while 5 is more outside of the box type of a thinker who can see patterns, who is more open to interpretation of the world. They're not really as hyper fixated on that linear logical analysis of the world, even though they can be good at logic, even though they can be good at breaking down logical things. Did you try typing Gary Kasparov? I've never tried to type Gary Kasparov, but he's an SCE because Western socionics type him an SCE. He's an SCE Chadwick, the grandmaster chess player, the godlike SCE who somehow can butcher every other ILI because he's an SE base. I don't know why he's an SE base. I think maybe who the fuck knows why. I don't know, ask Western. But on a serious note, I don't know what's his type. But I can tell you few. Probably he's listen. He's a grandmaster at chess. What can he be? LSI, ILI, LII. I mean, you have three options. That's if we're honest about with each other, you have three options. Those are the options. Pick and choose whatever you like. Because I don't know not much about the guy other than I've seen him and he was one of the best chess players. ISTP not winning is different from a typical A. It's quite similar to Int, but it's pretty much a tiger. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, have you typed Light Yagami? No, I haven't, but Raven typed Light Yagami, and the Raven even has an explanation as to why. I think you should see the explanation on Light's page if you scroll down. He broke down why he's an EIE social too. Many people didn't like the take. Many people coped, but okay, cool. But personally, I didn't type him. Personally, I didn't even watch the character. Why can ENTJ, ISTJ be Enneagram 1? ISTJ cannot be Enneagram 1 because it's SI dom. It starts with SI dom. Enneagram 1 is TE dominant type. Extroverted thinking, because one is all about rules, laws, and enforcing those laws, about objective reality, objective facts, objective data, and they enforce those objective facts on the world, correct the world. So this is a very TE dominant personality. Obviously, that's not going to work with the fucking ISTJ. Now, with the ENTJ, I think it's more controversial, but because I don't believe LIE can be one, I don't believe ENTJ can be one, because that's why. And Enneagram 1 is a gut type. Enneagram 1, at the end of the day, is a very sensing type. They're a sensing type. They're not intuitive. I don't see why they would be NI-ego. I don't see why they would be fucking any demo. Think about it. Any demonstrative, one core. I don't see it. I don't fucking see it. I get that, but why not? Even though it's SITE, that is still not enough. Not enough. Back in the day, people used to be like, well, I mean, TE auxiliary is enough to make this type 8 or fucking 1 or shit. No one. The truth is, auxiliary doesn't fucking matter. Like when it comes to your cognition, no one gives a fuck about the auxiliary, about the creative. No one gives a fuck, because the most important is the base. That's like the whole perception, the whole cognition, that the way you see the world is produced by your base. So that's why we give a shit about that. That's why SITE doesn't really matter much, because at the end of the day, it's still an SI DOM, it completely contradicting the nature of Enneagram 1. So always look at the base. That's important. Difference between Naranjo and Ichazo. Naranjo is more clinical. That's how I would describe the differences. I think they're more clinical. Naranjo is more clinical because he was kind of trying to correlate the different types to pathologies, right? So he took the clinical approach, which was controversial, and more pathological, trying to treat people, trying to kind of type them and treat them and use it almost like a psychotherapy bullshit. So there's more. He tends to be more detailed. So Naranjo is much more in depth about each subtype, and he has subtypes. So there's 27 subtypes, which you don't have that in Ichazo. Ichazo looks at different things, a bit different things, because Naranjo took what Ichazo was saying, and he kind of elaborated upon it and created the subtypes. Ichazo is more spiritual. Ichazo has the dichotomies, every type has two dichotomies. So I don't know. I find, listen, I think, yeah, you should use. There's no harm in learning both. That's my opinion. Like, there's no harm in learning both. Now, do I use Ichazo as my like primary Enneagram source? Like, that's the typing system. No, I use Naranjo, but I also use Ichazo for fun sometimes. Especially when I see a character that I think maybe represents a certain type, like very very much. Maybe fits a certain Ichazo type. I'm gonna type them as that. Because why the fuck not? But my focus is Enneagram. 3V can mistype as 1E. I think so. I think it's possible, it's possible. Given your explanation of 5 core, LII isn't possible. I don't see TI base 5. Personally, I don't see TI base 5. What would you type? Kamala Harris. I don't know who that is. Who is Kamala Harris? According to you, what's the difference between SLEs with common demeanor, SLEs who act sort of rabid? Can you explain rabid? What do you mean by that? Like, be specific about this behavior. Because, okay, SLEs with a common demeanor. Okay, that's I understand what you mean. That's pretty much kind of an SLE in general. They tend to be phlegmatic in a way in the presentation. So, okay. But rabid, what does that mean? How would this rabid SLE act? How would they manifest? When will Raven do sexual aid? Sexual aid? What do you mean? Sexual aid in what sense? The compilation, or what do you mean? What's your hottest typology take? I don't think I have any hottest typology takes. Well, I used to always have this take, at least in tri-type, that certain tri-types don't exist. I genuinely do think, and if you follow Catherine Favre's theory, which is behavioral, let's be honest, Catherine Favre's theory is heavily behavioral. Certain tri-types cannot exist with certain subtypes. Like 825 doesn't exist. There's no such thing as 825 because there's no type that can fit this. I don't fucking see how an SLE can fit this, or how a fucking SE can fit this. There are contradictions. Now, which is why, in a way, Trifix can be a bit better, because if someone types like 825 in Trifix, I'm not really gonna look too deeply into it, I guess, because the Trifix is not gonna be as behavioral. So that's my opinion. Is there a good way to distinguish rational from irrational from the outside? I just look at just irrational types. I look at impulsivity. I look at how go with the flow they are in life. If they start a project, are they very thorough? Right? Are they more organized? I just look at basic traits like this. And generally, it works very well. They want certain things to be a certain way. They want certain things to look a certain way. They're more organized. They tend to be more pedantic. Yeah, the organization aspect is, I would say, probably one of the biggest differences between an irrational type and a rational type. Even when you get down to the FE basis, those are still big differences in how the rationality manifests compared to the irrationality. Just irrational types tend to be more accepting of the world, go with the flow, more scattered. That's how I view it. I think rational and irrational is a good dichotomy. Constructivist, emotivist is a good dichotomy that might even be easier sometimes. Static dynamic, people use the dichotomy too. With static dynamic, I have a bit more difficult time telling the difference. I'm still trying to learn it. The emotivist and constructivist, it's pretty fairly simple. Do you see Bobby Fischer as an TI Dom? Yeah. I think he's in LSI. I typed him as an LSI a long time ago. I sent you an invite to Valve's new games playtests. Oh shit. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna check. I'll check. I'm curious. I was actually pretty fucking dead today, you know? Just woke up and decided to stream, so. How do you know whether you value socio? You don't, well, there's no value, you know? There's no value really when it comes to at least original socionics, which I guess can be different, you know, can be more difficult to understand, because I feel like in Western it's a bit easier. Well, do you value this? Well, how do I know if I value it? Well, just if you use it a lot, if you focus on it. With socionics here, it's a bit more difficult, you know, but generally, um, just by understanding what he is, actions, methods of actions, effectiveness of one's work, right? Productivity, stuff like that, right? So actions. And TI has to do with logic, with personal logic, subjective logic, with hierarchy, with positions, with systems. So you just look at that. But I would not hyperfixate on one element. Hey, do I use FE or FI? Well, I don't know. Well, what about the blocks, you know? Which blocks are you? Like, what blocks do you have? What's your super ego? Well, what's your ego? You know? So don't fixate on FE at TITI, TETI. If you can't figure out if you're TETI, figure out other shit. Figure out what's your super ego block. What do you think that might be? Don't just fixate on one thing like TI or TE. That's my advice to you. Brother, you don't know Kamala Harris. You are detached from reality. No, I don't know who the fuck Kamala Harris is. I mean, is she paying my fucking bills? Like, what is she doing? You basically get your information. What's up? What's up with this fucking guy? Can someone describe? Because I'm reading the interaction. Can someone explain who the fuck is this guy and what the fuck is he saying? Can someone explain? Because I'm reading the chat right now and I'm reading the interactions. Do you know Edward Kenway? Dutch had absolutely lost his mind. That's why he looks like it. Well, he's not an EIE. I mean, simple as. He's not a fucking EIE. You know, he's. How is he an ego? How? There's no NI ego. So, and he didn't really look like an 8 because he lost his mind. He looked like an 8 from the beginning. His story, if you, again, watch any video about Dutch on his origins, there are some good videos about his origins, you'll see. Do you know Edward Kenway? If yes, have you liked the character? Yeah, I like the character. I typed him SCE Social 8. Being more systematic and trying to fit anything into categories. Yeah, Yes, that's true. Yes, that's more 6 than 5, and that also relates to TI. I mean, systematically creating categories and looking for connections between things, relations between things, right? Seeing the connections between two things, concepts, and relating them to one another. How are they different? Whatever the fuck. That would be TI. I'm the god. I'll be honest. To me, you seem like a fucking jerk off. I'll be honest with you. Like you seem like a fucking geeky jerk off. Like are you like what are you doing here? Like jerking yourself off, acting like a dickhead to people, or like I just want to understand your stupid behavior in the fucking chat. Maybe you can explain it to me. Because you're not being fucking funny. I'm beyond your comprehension. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're a fucking nerd. What are you talking about? I swear to God, Typology has the weirdest fucking people. And such person will come to you, and imagine such person in real life coming up to you. I'm beyond your comprehension, bro. You fucking listen to yourself. Fuck. Jesus. Is there difference in rationality between 6 and fact of the mind? Yeah, I guess you could say that. I think with 5 chords, sometimes there is more. Sometimes you look at them and they might not even seem logical. Okay, that's the thing. They can almost see they're weird. There's almost like this detachment from reality sometimes. It's a fucking strange thing. So they are out there. 5 chords can be out there. With 6, my experience with 6s is that even though I might not agree with them, it's I still they're still grounded. They're still very rigid with their logic. Like there's still rigidity, there's still linear thinking. So okay, it seems more grounded. While the 5 chords is just sometimes so fucking abstract, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are the best arguments that the bro, like, and any dom 8. 8 is a sensing type. Bro, and 8 is focused on the present moment, here and now, and what's tangible. So there's ENTP 8 is, bro, we're not fucking in 2020. What types have the most surprisingly charismatic that you've encountered? That you've encountered? Think types with poor can be still charismatic. I think all kinds of people can be charismatic, but I mean, I've seen people say Vladimir Putin is charismatic. I've seen people say that, and he's suggestive, which is like very close to autism. So listen, I mean, I think many people can be that way. LSIs, I think, can be quite charismatic, funnily enough, even though they are FE suggestive. That's one type that I think, despite their shitty logical, like shitty ethical elements, can be quite charismatic. Rust, thoughts on SP2? Why do you think a lot of these Mean Girls characters fit it over sexual too? Well, just because someone is mean, like those Mean Girls characters, that doesn't make them sexual too, For example, Regina, to me, is a very clear example of SP2 as privilege. She's like a spoiled princess. There's no sexual too. There's not really hyperfixation on seduction and luring people in. She's just a fucking bitch. She's just a privileged motherfucker. She's a princess. That's literally it. She's a fucking princess. So SP2s can be that way, obviously, when they're very unhealthy, sadistic, even described as that. It's crazy. Can 3F look like 4F sometimes? Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Dutch alone is an intuitive type who basically lives for the future, cannot face the reality of things. Just because his plans are awful, he still thinks far. That doesn't mean shit. If you are unable to plan because you can't, which is the truth for Dutch, he can't plan. He's shit at creating any. He's good at, he just talks about it, but he has no foresight. He has no foresight. He has no ability to actually fucking conduct plans ahead into the future. Even though everyone is relying on him for that, which, by the way, in EIE should have no problem, because that is exactly what an EIE will do for their dual LSI. They will provide a lot of FE, but they also provide NI. You know, that is what, and that's what an EIE does. What does an EIE do? They warn people about their future. They are there to warn people of negative consequences that will happen. That's not fucking Dutch. Dutch just said, well, I have a plan. I have a plan. You have no plan. There's nothing. Zero. Nothing. And also, his way of approaching people is not a constructivistic type, which, by the way, in EIE is. Do you think he approaches people with emotion? Right? When he talks to Arthur, when he talks to his gang members, what does he talk about? Unity, right? Loyalty. He approaches people through emotion, sympathy, politeness, love, whatever it might be. He uses that as his way to approach people. Sorry, not an EIE. An EIE doesn't do that. So, yeah. What do you think about EFLV? What does it fit? I don't fucking know what it fits. Doesn't exist. No, I'm kidding. It exists something, but I don't know. Maybe you can be EE. Maybe you can be EFLV. That would be cool. Why SP2 1F3V? I mean, shit. I mean, I've seen SP2 described, funnily enough, as when they get insecure, when they don't get the validation, when they don't get what they want, they become sadistic. They become cunts of the highest order who know exactly how to fuck with you and cause you pain and make you feel insecure, make you feel small because they're coping, because they're not validated. You did not give them what the fuck they need. So there's a lot of 3V in that fucking type. But generally, you know, SP2 is a very sensorical type. Focus on giving pleasures to people and being oriented towards beauty, what's beautiful, what looks good. So there's a lot of all those components there. Oh my god. How is punitiveness typically shown? By the way, I didn't react to this comment. Just saying. How is punitiveness typically shown in 8s and typically sexual 8s in non-monkey brains like you? I mean, what the fuck is punitiveness anyway? Isn't it like domineering? Fuck you, domineering stuff. I think let me check what is punitiveness. Let's see. Let's see. And I'm pun. Okay, so let's see how punitiveness is described by Naranjo, at least as a trait, right? So it's labeled as sadistic, exploitative, and hostile. Among such traits, we can find bluntness, sarcasm, and irony. Those of being intimidating, humiliating, and frustrating. Okay. So basically, if you want to see something like this happen, it's pretty standard. It's nothing crazy. It's probably an attitude of putting people down. I would say, acting arrogant towards them, acting hostile, being overly blunt, being sarcastic, making fun of them. So demeaning people and humiliating them in some type of way, being arrogant over others, I think that can manifest as punitiveness in AIDS, realistically speaking, not like some villain shit, some super villain shit, just more realistic portrayals of AIDS. And you see this with real life AIDS, putting people down, I think is like the most common one. Being hostile, being more aggressive, being condescending to them, humiliating them in some type of way, right? Showing dominance over the other. And it's not really, you're not really focused on, I'm going to show I'm dominant, you don't really do that. But that's what happens. Duchess plans are optimistic and intricate. He doesn't act in the present. He's narcissism. His narcissism doesn't mean shit. You can, SCEs are very narcissistic. Why is Dutch NI? So EIE's NI warns about the negative consequences of what's going to happen. Negative consequences. So I'm not entirely sure that EIE's approach to those things is very positive. Okay, like let me check something. Let me check something now, because I wanna make sure if this is correct. Okay. And I'm minus. Okay, and I'm minus. That's what it would be. Okay, so the EIE has NI minus, and it's creative. So it's to see the dangerous events of the future, and to warn others of impending doom, to see the destruction. Okay. I'm not sure if this fits him. How to figure out if you're an ILI or LIE? I actually had someone on my coffee come to me and approach me with this kind of question. How do I know? I just say, look at your attitude. First, understand this: vulnerable sucks. Think about that. Vulnerable sucks. It's painful. You will have certain reactions about it. You might hide it. You might not want to be. You might not want it to be exposed. Right? Suggestive is more chill. That's what you need to know. Suggestive is very accepting of external information, and it's making it more almost, I don't give two fucks. There's almost that quality to the suggestive. Get the fuck off. Obviously, with the vulnerable, that's not the case. That's not the case at all. So think about that. F5 vulnerable or F5 suggestive? Big difference. Big difference. Big difference. Look at SE. SE role versus SE mobilizing. I mean, mobilizing is unconscious and role is conscious. SE role in many ways is stronger than SE mobilizing, because SE role of the ILE, it judges people's worth through SE, through their volitional qualities, through how they look, even through their appearance, and they might think they know it better than other people. So there's a certain amount of rigidity in the way that any SE role works, which is not present in SE mobilizing. SE mobilizing it needs supervision. It doesn't think it knows better. It doesn't want to. It's not really trying to attract attention to those attributes, and it's much more welcoming of input. It wants input. It wants help. And an LIE wants help from the ESI when it comes to SE. With an ILE, not so much. They might actually think they know better how to do those things, despite really not having as much confidence or even nuance how to use the element, So that's what I would look for. Because obviously, if I tell you, any demo and then any base, look at this ego block. No one, you're going to have, it's harder. It's harder. So if you can't figure out your type by looking at the ego block, at least look at the fucking super ego block or something. Look at the lower elements and look at how you deal with shit. 3V is exactly the same as 1V. I mean, if 3V is exactly the same as 1V, they would be the same thing, but they ain't. One is 3V and the other one is 1V. Is an emotional expressive person automatically FE base? They might not be. No. Being emotionally expressive, being typed FE base is fucking Western idea. That's the reality. Not anymore, because many types can be emotionally expressive. SCEs are emotionally expressive. ESIs can be emotionally expressive. But what the fuck does emotionally expressive mean? What does that mean to be emotionally expressive? Emotionally expressive how? So that's an important question. No, doesn't necessarily mean you are an FE base. That's all I can say. Okay? That's all I can say about that. What do you think about SPA SLE? I've never thought about SPA SLE for Putin. Why is the guys you fucking the chat is so there's so much shit in chat. Damn. There's so much. Oh my god, wait. I don't know, guys. What the fuck are you? I'm still trying to. There's a lot of comments. Wait. The most complex Enneagram 7 is more confusing in my because yeah, I can see. What do you think Jix is IE or ESI? Probably IE. Why is she a rational type? I don't see it, Why is she any vulnerable? What makes her any vulnerable? I'm not sure. I guess maybe because she's fucking coping about herself and shit. But I'm not that invested in her personality. How does FE manifest in a TI base? Think about a person who feels more energized by people who are emotionally vibrant, who can almost. It's like an FE base gives them life. As weird as that sounds, they give them life. They infect them with emotions, and that's when a TI base it's a fucking sponge. I look at TI base as a sponge for emotions. That's how it is. Is John SP9 like Arthur? I think so. Those traits fit. The thing is, Rakhat is. I'm not gonna lie, he's being kind of stereotypical right now. And I agree with Red. Being fucking charismatic or being ambitious or thinking you being narcissistic or being full of yourself doesn't automatically mean you're a two core. Doesn't automatically mean you're a social two. I mean, that's how we typed him. We typed him EIE. Why did we type him EIE social two? Why did we type Dutch as that? Because he's an influential cult leader with a big ego. There's nothing more than a fucking stereotype. SCEs cannot act this way. Says who? I mean, says who SCEs can't act that way? I mean, I know an SCE, right? Who went to fucking Oxford, multiple degrees, philosophy and other shit. Spends his time arguing with people and debating about intellectual topics. SCEs, LIEs, EIEs, whatever the fuck. The point is that there's different variations of types. But an EIE is an SI vulnerable type. An EIE is a mystical leader, yes. Very good NI, warn people, right? About what's gonna happen. Mystical people, right? And they're very overtyped. Very overtyped. Because if someone is influential or someone is narcissistic plus influential, they're a fucking social 2 EIE. It's like, even though they have no problem with physics, right? They fuck. They love aesthetics. They're obsessed with aesthetics. They're completely confident. They have their own style. They're grounded. They're concrete, but they're also influential. They're also deep. Suddenly they're fucking EIE social too. Well, how the fuck? Weak physics. How the fuck? Right? So I think EIE was kind of butchered. That's why I think. I saw someone headcanon SP9 as countertype 9 because they are the most aggressive, assertive, confrontational. What do you think? But I don't think being more aggressive and confrontational makes them a counter type, because I don't think that's how counter types are supposed to go. You're supposed to go against the passion of your own type, so the counter type should be social 9 because they're the least sloth. You will see the least sloth outwardly in them, the most workaholic, the most outwardly engaging. So that's why they're a counter type. So typing them a counter type because they're more aggressive and assertive, yes, but that's not really what it is about. It's about sloth, and SP9s are completely fucking immersed in that passion completely. Static and dynamic, it's a good I'm still trying to figure out static and dynamics types. Static, I'm still trying to figure out, so I don't really feel confident to tell you. What the difference is. I was talking about earlier. I mean, with rational and irrational, let's for a second, just before we answer the question, think what types are rational and what types are irrational. So rational types would be FE base, right? FE bases. Rational types would be TE bases, TI bases, FI bases. Okay, ESC, EIE, right? LSC, LIE, EII, ESI. Okay, cool. Irrational types, any bases, i.e., EILE, SE bases, right? Okay, SI bases also. So we understand the most common traits you'll see between those different types is some of them are organized. There's a pattern. The rational types tend to be more specific and organized about things. They might be more uptight about things. There's a certain rigidity with those types, with how they perceive the world, with how they navigate the world, their lifestyle. There's a certain rigidity with those types, which is not there with irrational types. Irrational types go with the flow of things. They're more, again, open ended. They might start a project, but they might not finish it. While the rational types might start a project, it might be thorough, it might finish it, right? So you look at that, you look at organizational levels, you look at rigidity in their life, how things should be like. Those rational types will be much more stuck on those things, while irrational types will kind of be like, where the fuck, wherever the fuck, let's go with it. Accept the moment as it is, more or less, obviously. Do you see Social 2 as the most independent character? among all. No. I don't see social 2 as the most independent. It's not even close. I'm not even sure if they're like top fucking 3, the most independent, you know? I mean, generally, my idea is that if you're an image core, you should not be fucking. An image core should not compete for the most independent type. Simple as. Even though social 2s can be independent in a way because they create dependencies from other people, right? They make other people depend on them. But you're a fucking image core. You know? SPA crushes social 2. Butchers them like a pig. Literally. It's not even fucking close. Like, fuck, no. 8s would be more independent already, you know? So, like, 8 core would be there. Like, 1 core should be there too. Like, fucking even SP9. There's types, many types that should be more independent than social 2. I'm not delving into stereotypes. Dutch, first and foremost, involves idealism. Yes, SCEs can be idealistic. He's completely out of touch with external world. He's an image type. Why is he an image type? Because you keep saying he's focused on idealism, and that makes him an image type. Why is he an image type? What about him is an image type? And why is okay? I'm fucking yeah. Okay, yeah. Believe he's a fucking EIE. Okay, you know. Raj, how 8 fix influences the type? I mean, I generally the pattern I see with 8 fixes more not focus, but they're much more comfortable with the expressions of anger, like an ESI sexual 4, like a sexual 6. So they tend to be much more open with their anger, hostility, rebelliousness, anything like this. Much more out in the open, pushy with it, pushing against the external world. That's what you're gonna see. I don't want to say they're gonna be like fucking hyper aggressive monkeys, not necessarily, but you'll see that willingness to push against the external world, to rebel, to express your anger, right? That's at least from what I've noticed in types like an ESI, like an LSI, some LIEs, you know. So that's what I think. How would a friendless social aid behave like? This always bothers me. I mean, it's hard to imagine a friendless social aid. You know, I think a social aid. Listen, think about this way, man. We live in a world of social media. So to be truly friendless, and I'm saying genuinely have no friends whatsoever, and that means real life friends, that means people you met on the internet. I would even say it's fucking impossible. So if we assume somehow this social aid has no friends in real life. He has no one. He doesn't know fucking anyone. Who knows how the fuck that happened, but he has no friends. Given benefit of doubt. No problem. Okay. He still has access to the fucking internet. So if you are a social aid, if you're a social subtype, period, let's say it like this. If you are a social subtype, you should always be attracted to what? To social shit, right? The social sphere, the communities, people, involvement, impact. You should always be drawn to it. If you're a social subtype, you should always be drawn to it. That's how it should be like. So regardless of if this motherfucker has friends, no friends in real life, he has to. We live in social media world. It's piss easy now. So if he even doesn't have anyone, he's not making any moves on social media and no impact, nothing whatsoever. He's just a hermit. Somehow fucking no people whatsoever, even on the internet, nothing. Well, then he's not a social subtype. That's my opinion. I mean, what the fuck? How is your neurotic need involving social subtype shit, but you have no fucking, there's no people. There's no people whatsoever. It's like, fuck, I mean, for me, I'm an SCE, I tap as a social A, and I can't imagine that. It's, I can't imagine that. In fact, genuinely, I feel like I'm a slave to it. In some ways, I'm a slave to the social sphere. Even when I'm trying to distance myself, I end up fucking engaging in any way. Even when I'm trying to take a fucking break, I end up fucking doing something that involves me in it. I fucking can't help it. It's, regardless of what else other stuff I focus on, that's just seems to be where the fuck I find myself in, which seems like a social subtype behavior, Well, Red, that's exactly what I was saying, I mean, I can sit here and talk to you about plans, Oh, we have a fucking plan. I'm gonna talk to you about society. Society is oppressing us. Society wants to take away our freedom. We need to live in a world where there's no law. We should live, which, by the way, doesn't make sense for an EIE, but okay. We need to live in a world where there's no rules, and the only rules are our own rules, and we have complete freedom. And fuck the motherfucking government, fuck them all, and we will band together, and I'm gonna make us a group that can fight for the right shit, and we will make sure to be good and better than other people. Fucking I can do this shit too, and I did this shit too. Does that mean I'm a fucking social to EIE now? Of course not. Talking about I have a plan. I have a plan doesn't mean shit. That's my opinion. That's my opinion, because you need to be good at it. You need to have insight into it. If I ask you about your ability to look into the future, are you able to give me are you able to see how events will develop? Are you able to see how, if you do X thing, then there's Y thing will be, or Y will happen, right? Because that's what NI is. What about learning from mistakes? Because that's what NI is. NI learns from patterns, and NI learns from time, from mistakes. So Dutch, who commits one fucking robbery, another robbery, and all of them get fucked over, and all of them fail, and he's making the same mistake over and over again. That's not much of an NI ego type. Because there's how? An NI ego type can see situation and think, if I do this, what's gonna happen? What will be the ripple effect of the event? If Dutch was an EIE, the story of Red Dead Redemption 2 would not happen. That's my opinion. It would not happen, because he would have seen all the problems that would appear from the obvious fuck-ups that even Arthur, a fucking SLI, was somehow able to piece together. That's my opinion. Of course, I was a bit passionate about this, but I'm not upset at Rahat. He has his own opinions. I like him. I like the guy. I'm just saying. 7 to 8, possible? Yeah, fucking yeah, it's possible. Yeah. What are well-known EIE social 2 characters that are actually different times? When I type Dutch as an SCE, I mean, Berlin still in EIE, Daniel is still in EIE, Kerrigan is still in EIE. But Tupac, I don't think Tupac is in EIE anymore. I think Tupac is an SE. He's definitely an emotivist, and it seems like an irrational type. So I was always a bit sus of Tupac as an EIE. I mean, when I was looking at his movements, his speech doesn't fit EIE at all. There's no rigidity. Social 2, by the way, are rigid types. Planned, rigid, restraint, self-contained types. So there's nothing with Tupac, So Tupac is a fucking SE, which, okay, makes sense. I saw him spurg the fuck out, and when he was acting impulsively, hot-headedly, did not think shit through. That makes sense to me. Characters wise, I'm not sure too much other than Dutch Vanderlind. I type in SCE. I'm sure there are other mistypes. Fucking, I'm sure. Is your role function supposed to be enjoyable? I'm not sure if. I'm not sure. No. No. I don't think it's supposed to be enjoyable. I think it's gonna annoy you quite a bit. I think it will make you spurg out quite a bit. I mean, look at EIEs. Look at ESCs. They can be bossy. They can take charge even and dictate methods of action on people, but they can act neurotic about it. They can have fucking meltdowns when shit's not going right and they don't know how the fuck this situation is going and they don't know what to do. So I don't think you're supposed to fucking enjoy your role. It's gonna be a fuckfest. You might want to dictate it and you might reject people's input on it as in that way, but it's not gonna be beautiful. It will make you spurg. And make you spurg, I think. Do you think people are more likely to be certain types depending where they were born? People are born in poverty are more likely to be AIDS. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I guess the ghettos and all the other places, favelas are full of fucking AIDS cores, and maybe that's how it works. Who the fuck knows? But to me, Enneagram types are also correlated to socionics types. The same shit. To me, it's the same shit. Like, I genuinely feel it's you're kind of born with it. You're kind of born with your personality type. So that's my view of it. That's my view of it. I believe they're born. So if you're an SLE, obviously you cannot be a 3, you cannot be a 2, you cannot be a 1. You can only be a fucking 8. So that's who the fuck you're gonna be. And in that case, doesn't matter where you live. If you're an SLE, that's your temperament from birth. You're gonna be that type, unless you can say, Yeah. So this theory is kind of mixed. I guess this theory focuses on nurture. So if you're born in poverty and you are exposed to poverty, you will become an 8 core. Which I'm not as much into this nurture aspect of typology. I do think it's mostly born, and nurture plays a part. I think you know what it does. I think it makes us think that we are created by our environment. Like, I'm an 8, and I look back and I see my reaction to my environment or what happened, and the way I perceived my environment. And yes, it looks like 8, right? But is it, I became 8 after that because of those experiences? The realistic probably argument was that I was always that way, but I was exposed to certain environmental things and experiences. And because I was an 8 core, it made me perceive them a specific way, which then made me react a specific way. So I guess that's how it is. But I'm speculating here. Greg Danis. How are you, Rust? Nice to see you live, mate. Thank you, Greg. I feel a bit drowsy, I woke up from a nap actually before I started streaming, probably like 20 minutes before. So I was a bit cranky. I was not a bit entertained, Sometimes I'm just not very motherfucking entertained. But I am good. I feel good. It's just, today I feel low energy. Today I'm just on, which is rare. Which is rare. Just don't give two fucks today. Just a bit low energy. Maybe, I was out yesterday a lot, so maybe that's why. Fuck it, Today is just chilling day. But I hope you are doing well, and I hope your day is good. And it's nice that you're appearing on the stream. I don't know if you have been on the stream before or if it's your first time, but either way, welcome. Some Enneagram enthusiasts say, for instinct compatibility, the SPS say are most comfortable, most comparable. I never understood how this makes sense. Your sim instinct should be the most compatible. I think you should not give a fuck about that. I used to kind of look into instincts before when I was like learning more about like Enneagram and people always people used to tell me the same shit. Oh, if this person is SP and you're SX or you're SO, it's not going to work because you will be caring about the social group. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, this is stupid. Because a fucking SP4 can be focused on their partner and give them love and support and you want to have a good life with them. And a social 9 can be focused on their partner and make sure that this partner is happy and they have a good life. So what the fuck, At the end of the day, if those people, and it's also this weird thinking that because you're this SO or you're SP or SX, suddenly you're gonna be the same way as every other person with the same instinct. Even if you share the same subtype, you might be different. So one social 9 might not give a fuck about relationships, and the other social 9 might be in a relationship and might be very caring about relationship. So I would just discredit this shit completely. Forget the instincts and forget all this compatibility or shit being comparable, whatever the fuck, Forget it. Forget that. At least the instincts. Fuck. Yo, what's up, Nemezo? Nice to see you again, man. Why would you use Jung psychological type? It's such a jerk off, though. I swear it's such a jerk off, dude. I've seen so many people like those fuck. Look, I'm not gonna lie. Look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm arrogant. The biggest retard motherfuckers I've seen on PDB like get upset about Jung. You don't know what you're talking about, Jung, and it's some fucking moron. It's some dumb fuck. Cancer in PDB. And it's like a group of those motherfucking morons sitting, yeah, they don't understand Jung. You can be an SCE, extroverted feeling type. You don't know what you're talking about. It's like those fucking pseudo intellectuals. They don't know fucking shit, And they're talking about like Jung. Jung is great. Jung, listen, why are you idealizing Jung? Jung is garbage. Jung ain't shit. Jung didn't make shit. Jung, that's not even a system, bro. Jungian fucking typology ain't a system. It's a fucking jerk off. It ain't a fucking system. Socionics is a system. Jungian is not a system. It's just a bunch of fucking shit. Extrovert thinking, psychological types. It's not. Let's not come on. Let's not call it a system. Like if you like Jungian, I'm not gonna bash you if you like Jungian, but don't be talking that Jungian is great. Fucking Jungian better than socionics. It's not even finished. It's not even a system. It's not a system. So why? Shit, man, come on. That kind of fucking got me fucked up a bit. That was funny, but come on. Tupac SE makes a lot more sense. It's. I mean, listen. I used to use Tupac as an example of EIE social too. Trust me, I used to do that. I used to, man. I mean, as cringe as it is what it is. I used to kind of use him as an example of social too. Look, EIE, well, fuck. But you know what? Fuck it. Like, I I'm not gonna cope about if he's not a type. He's not a type, and I shouldn't describe him as X, Y, and Z type if it's gonna mislead people. And I was a bit suspicious of his type even earlier. But I was talking to people, and they were like, "Nah, he's still an EIE," and they kind of give me those arguments. I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, I guess." But just those behaviors were so weird. I mean, there is a clip of Tupac leaving a place, and he starts like walking around, and he starts spitting. He starts spitting at the reporters, spitting at the camera people, and just the way he behaved. And it's like, wow, how is this a social two? Like a social two EIE behaving in this way. Complete lack of regard on how he's perceived. Complete lack of regard on how to portray himself and to be exemplary and to be of high status. I'm a prideful person. He just goes out, like walks, starts like doing goofy shit, starts spitting in everyone. And it's like, that's weird. That's weird. I'm not saying SCEs will go around, but I would see more likely an SCE to spread the fuck out this way. But other than that, what really gave it away is emotivist. I think the dichotomy. He connects. He makes contact with people through emotion, sympathy, to his tone, yelling, shouting, love, cheering people up, mobilizing people, inspiring people. So he's trying to make he contacts with people, makes contact with people through those through feelings, through those emotions, which is not an EIE. Actually, an EIE doesn't do that. They make contact through logic. They actually make contact through work, which is weird. People don't think that through situations, not feelings. So that's kind of what made me think. And he's very fluid in movements, very fluid, very not rigid. There's no rigidity. There's nothing. There's no self-containment. And in one of the interviews, he was actually saying how his biggest fucking problem was impulsivity, which just doesn't make sense. Just doesn't make sense. He was saying that he speaks before he thinks, and he acts before he thinks. It's a bit weird. Sorry, that made me think. Yeah, there's no way. There is no way. And for him, that's growth would be to reflect a bit more, to think before he speaks. I don't think that's an EIE. EIE knows exactly what the fuck they're going to be doing, they're going to be saying. And they're more hesitant. And EIE is the type more hesitant than people think or expect. You are speaking like a WSS user. All right, buddy. Focuses more on information, Dutch element. Dutch, he is sure of his plans and future that could point to creative place. He's sure of his plan. I mean, this is okay. I'll break it down. This is your rationale. He's creative because he uses the word plan, and he talks about this utopian future, which, by the way, any type can do. Yet he has no nuance to his plans. He cannot predict negative consequences of any of his plans. He makes the same mistakes over and over and over again, to the point where every other character says, "You are a dumb fuck, bro. What are you thinking?" But he still makes jobs that will clearly fail, and even Arthur knows it. But then you're arguing he's NI creative because he's confident about his future. Think about that. No, no. What about Alexander the Great? There were few examples that I'm gonna be trying to get in to get more information about. For example, I wanna look into Alexander the Great, and I wanna look into Julius Caesar. Those two historical figures. I wanna look into them because they are typed as like social to EIE, which they might be SCE social late. Especially Caesar might be the SCE. Now, the funny thing is, I think Oshra typed Caesar as a fucking SCE. Now, I don't trust Oshra's typings. I actually don't trust typings of any author, period. So I don't want to use it as like, okay, that's what the fuck, he's an SCE. Julius Caesar is an SCE because that's what she said. No, I would rather do my own research and actually read and see if he was an SCE or he's an EIE. That the reality is EIE is jerked off in the community. Everyone jerks off to EIE. EIE is superhuman. It has no flaws. It's gifted sensorically. It has no insecurities in the physical fucking world somehow. It's sensual. It loves to indulge somehow, right? But it's also this amazing leader, fucking deep abstract person. Like what the fuck, you know? It's a jerked off type, and we need to decapitate this shit, I think, because there's no such thing as a sensual EIE. It doesn't exist. If you see a fucking EIE who describes himself, I am a very sensual person and I love to indulge in sensualities. That's a fucking LARPer, bro. That's not a fucking EIE. An EIE is SI fucking vulnerable. Okay? SI vulnerable, SC mobilizing. They ain't no fucking I'm essential. They're disconnected from that shit, dude. They're disconnected from that shit. They coped. They ain't sensual. They ain't those fucking cool physical conquerors that people fucking created in their head. Like, how the fuck? And EIE can do fucking everything, right? And EIE can fight, can be the best fighter, can be the best fucking warrior, loves fucking bitches, taking drugs, doing everything. But it's also, it can do everything. Everything. It's a fucking superhuman type. So it's kind of bullshit. People should stop jerking off EIE, because that's what we did with ENTJ in the MBTI. ENTJ was jerked off to. EIE, the jerk off to EIE has to stop. We have to decapitate it. We have to eliminate it. EIEs, they are at the end of the day mystical motherfuckers who don't do that shit. They don't even take care of the physical world. Okay, so that's how we should treat them. They will motivate people. They're gonna inspire people. Yeah, but they ain't gonna fucking do shit when it comes to the sensorical world. Fuck it, you know. What type would you want your future kids to be? I want my future kids to be something easy. No, but I lie. And ironically, I fucking want my kid to be an ILI or an LSI. And I know what you're gonna be thinking. Well, why would you want an LSI? You're gonna have a supervision dynamic. I want an LSI because they would be fucking cool as shit. They'd have good values. I could teach them good values. LSI kid, best ever. Wait, guys. There's so many. What type is most likely to scold others for social naivete in relationships? social naivete, ethical types, maybe, probably. My attitude to this is that, listen, if you're able, if you scold people on that shit, some ethical type, some ethical type. Greg Danis, I am new to the stream and I love your streams. If there's just a way to inform some hours before going, it would be nice. I also sent you a what's Gucci on Instagram with my real name. Oh shit, yeah. I'm not very good on social media. You know, I made Instagram and I don't even use it. I don't use Instagram. So that's fucking shit. I was never a fan of Instagram, you know? Like, fuck. Why? Instagram, what the fuck? So it was my like idea, like, oh, I'm gonna start Instagram and maybe it's gonna, but that shit never happened. I never did shit with it. But what's Gucci to you too? And it's nice, man. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see new people. And thank you for the nice words. Have you dated someone who's your type? No, and I would never type someone who's um, who's my type. No, that's cool. There's so many. Oh man, my fucking neck just cracked. There's so many questions, guys. I'm just trying not to be too far. Science collectivism. Beta Quadra seen as archetypal collectivism due to value defeat. If you're talking strictly about symbolism and Kenpachi, see, I can see. I'm a collectivistic person. I'm collectivistic, right? Meaning, and I've been tapped Beta Quadra. I mean, I've had Avalonia, the guy who made Open Socionics. You know, the guy who made the website. He told me I'm the most Beta Quadra person that has ever been alive. The motherfucker told me that. The most Beta Quadra person he's ever met. Right? Came out, I was a fucking SE. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough to swallow. But I'm collectivistic. I'm focused on my group. I'm focused on the big picture. I'm focused on us, them, groups, the government, the society. That's right. Still individualistic, yes, but there's collectivism. So fuck that. Fuck that Beta Quadra shit, collectivism. Fuck all that. Do you think I'm less collectivistic than, for example, an LSI? Fuck no. You know, not even close. So hell no, I'm pissed. I'm joking. I'm not pissed. It's a joke. I'm not pissed. He's too chaotic and rebellious. Yeah, he's chaotic, he's impulsive, he's all over the place, you know. It's crazy that Tupac is an SCE. I thought he was an EIE based on his high school interview. Yeah, well, I think it's good. Maybe it's time to break away from the fucking stereotypes, you know? Maybe it's good. Because we look at someone like, oh shit, he's too zesty. He's a gentleman. He can't be a fucking A. He needs to be a fucking degenerate. He needs to be a monkey. He needs to be tough. He needs to be a masculine alpha male, right? So, whatever the fuck idea people have. So I think it's good. Personally, I think it's good because I think it's good. Like it shows you the different manifestations of different types. I mean, bro, I know again, as I was saying, I can find you an SCE in the ghetto who can do simple math. He uga uga, fight, punch, right? And I can also find you an SCE who's studied in Oxford, who's an intellectual. How the fuck is this possible? They're not even the same. But that's the point. Like, right? That's the fucking point. And that's beautiful. I think that's amazing. And we'll see this with other types. IE, for example. IE was always thought as non-binary 69 gender. And of course, non-binary 69 gender, it exists. That is some sort of an IE, but there were different IEs. Some IEs are very intellectual, influential people, cult leaders, even people who want to impact people, change things, discover people's potential. Not goofy fucking, I'm laughing in every fucking joke. I'm a fucking kid. I'm 7 years old. You know? So I genuinely think it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. Yes, it makes things a bit more difficult, but fuck it. Fuck it. It's nice. It's different. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's the he wore crop tops. He can't be a fucking 8 core. He wore crop tops. He can't be an 8. He's too zesty. He's a zesty motherfucker. He probably complimented women, and he was a gentleman. He probably opened doors for women. He cannot be an 8 core because, yeah, he's not a rapist. Naranjo says 8s are rapists, and he's a gentleman. He asks before he kisses the lady. He can be an 8 core. I mean, we're making fun of it and we're kind of joking, but yeah, you can probably do many things and be whatever type like that, you know. Russ, I read about SX7 from Raven's page. They don't seem like flying unicorns. I know you are joking, but are we sure that if there is a 1,000 genders type, then it is probably. Yeah, listen, when I'm saying 69 gender non-binary, it's not like I'm genuinely actually thinking like, oh my god, I thought about this. The IE is the most likely to believe these things. No, you know, at the end of the day, if we want to be real, like jokes aside, comedy aside, which people can fucking understand, right? Sometimes they wouldn't. Many types can be that way. And I don't want to say IE can be that way. Fucking ESI, IEI can be that way. Fucking maybe I'm sure that even fucking EIEs can be that. There are many types who can believe this shit. As ESCs can, all kinds of types can believe in this kind of shit. So when I'm saying 69 gender non-binary, it's just the way I picture what I picture is pink hair, crazy behavior, chaotic, right? Believes that you shouldn't be limited by labels. You shouldn't be limited by labels and oppressive systems. And you can be anything you want as long as you allow your potential to be fulfilled. You can be a non-binary 69 gender, a flying unicorn, and that's the IE. But you know, to me, it's more of a comedy than it is of a serious take on typology. Which some people they don't get that. Some people got upset at me because I would make such statements and they think, oh my god, he thinks, IEs are, I'm not this way. Like, I understand, I'm joking, maybe maybe I'm being rude. Maybe my jokes are offensive. Okay. Yeah, okay, I understand. My jokes can be fucking offensive. I get that. Although I would say, I filter myself. The realities I have, dude, my jokes now are fucking snowflake. I make snowflake jokes. I make jokes made for 13-year-olds plus. This is kid shit. This is kindergarten. I don't make fucking offensive jokes no more. I'm too old for that shit. I'm 29. I'm not gonna make such jokes. It's not funny anymore. When I was young, it was fucking funny. Ha ha ha. You start some controversy, make people mad, make people angry. Now, if people get angry because I made jokes, okay, fuck. I guess that's cool. But that's how it is. What are your examples of an actual EIE? Actual EIE. Hitler, 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 Hitler was an EIE, I think. Daenerys Targaryen from Games of Thrones. Fuck. Kerrigan, General Kerrigan from Bones, Shadow and Bones. Shadow and Bones. I love that show. Same with IEI. IEI. Fuck, man. There was one chick I used as an IEI example. Tamos. Amori Tamos. Ari. Amori Tamos. She was a singer. She was like a fucking singer celebrity. I forgot her name, but she was an IEI. I typed as an IEI, but fucking I don't know. Outside of eights, which types do you see becoming professional fighters? Nines, SP9, very common, very, very, very common in fighting. SP4 is very common in fighting. SP3 is very common in fighting. So sexual 6, I think you can find too. Those are the primary ones. I think you're less collectivist than Stan and maybe, maybe, yeah. ESC. Sid is correct. Please answer this if you can, bro. What's up, Soul? How do SC non-spurgingly force people to abandon their wrong traits without being completely tyrannical? Okay. Wrong traits. There are a few fucking things to consider in this question. What are those traits? Why are they wrong? Now, this question is: are they wrong because you perceive them to be wrong? So you're basically pushing your own view of what is right and what's wrong, right? So you're judging their traits and you think that's shit. That's shit. You shouldn't fucking have that trait. Let me fucking eliminate it for you. Let me decapitate it. You should change that shit. That's bad. So you cannot change them without being tyrannical. There's no such thing, right? If you're forcing to change them, their traits, you're being tyrannical. That's simple as. That's tyranny. But if you see genuinely that they have wrong traits, those traits harm them. That's key. Those characteristics harm them. Then you don't force them. You don't force them to do it. You tell them exactly why those characteristics are not good for them and why they will harm them. You show them exactly why, what kind of negative impact they will have on them if they keep on doing this, if they'll keep on engaging in this behavior, or maybe don't stand up for themselves, or maybe they will let people take advantage of them. Maybe whatever it is, you need to show them why it's not good, and approach it with sympathy, approach it with empathy. Don't try to make them feel like you're trying to change them for your own benefit. Don't make them feel like you're just trying to change them because you don't like them. Acknowledge their strengths and acknowledge what they're good at. Don't just be like, you're shit at this, you're fucking shit at that, change that. No. I think the best tactic often with people is, before you criticize, before you often acknowledge, you're great at this, you're good at that. I'm not saying this in a bad faith, but listen, I say because I care, I say because I love you, but I see what's happening, and this will harm you. It's harming you because people will take advantage of you. And it's and you've seen what happened. And also showing them what happened because of their traits, the bad things that happened can also motivate them further because it's like proof. It's proof, it has happened. So approach them with some empathy and some sensitivity. Fucking ideally, if you want to have the right impact and you want to actually change them. Um, and reality is, if they refuse, they refuse. And I know how it feels. Like it's fucking infuriating when you have people fucking themselves over and you see it. You see it. You see that it's right in front of you. They're fucking themselves over right in front of you. And you try to fucking help them. You try to go and fucking offer them advice. Like you try to fucking see the shit that they have and help them. And you know what fucking happens? Nothing changes. They don't fucking improve. So it's infuriating when you see someone just fucking doing that shit to themselves in front of you. Like, what the fuck? So, but you have to deal with it. You have to accept it, you know? Just make sure that your intention is good and your intention is very your intention is good, because it's very easy for us to impose our views of what's true and what isn't true, impose the way things should be with thinking we know the way. We know the way. We Anything else other than that is fucking cursed. You shouldn't be that way. That's nasty. You shouldn't be that way. That's fucking degenerate. You shouldn't be that way. That's fucking disgusting. And you impose it on people. But this is just your perception. It's arrogant. Obviously, we don't want that. We need to have more balanced view. I have an SCE cousin who taught special ed. It's pretty impressive. But if SCEs can be intellectuals, why can EIEs be sensorical warriors? I don't think they can't be warriors. I think to say they cannot be warriors is incorrect. But they cannot be sensualists, sensually involved. They should be rigid, sensitive, and spurgy. An SCE who's intellectual, at the end of the day, is just an SCE who can indulge in intellectual thought. He's not, for example, intellectual, like an LII or an ILI. That's a true intellectual in a sense where that's the way they operate. They operate primarily on reason. Now, an SCE who can indulge in intellectualism, they're still SE base. So they're still going to be much more action oriented than anything else. Mohammed Hijab, I don't know if you know him, he's a good example of that. He considers himself to be intellectual, and I think many people consider him to be intellectual, but he's also, the reality is he's reliant on physicality a lot. He uses physicality to intimidate people. Even the way he challenges people, it's to insult their lack of abilities in the physical world. He offered to fight them and stuff like that. He's very, very involved in the physical world. So yes, he can go out and have a debate about theology or Islam and Islamic studies, whatever the fuck. But he's not a true intellectual like a fucking ILI, for example, or an LII social six. Not a true intellectual that genuinely involves reasoning, because he still takes logical shortcuts. He still lacks the nuance of thought like an LII. So, yeah. Yeah. People try to make too overpowered. Remember, your skills are relative to you, just like Naranjo said. I mean, I had people tell me I'm not an 8 because I'm zesty, whatever the fuck that means, or I'm not an 8 because they have those ideas of 8 core. They view it as cool, like you have to be a certain type of person. Like you need to be cool, you know. You can't be a fucking nerd. Like you can't be making videos about typology and be an 8. You're not cool. You're not cool, bro. Look at you. I don't even like you, and because I don't like you, I don't think you're cool. Which is why you can be an 8 core. But it's obviously it's trash. And you know what's more cringe than that? It's the way people perceive 8 in terms of like their reactiveness. It's actually cringe. It actually makes me genuinely like this idea of 8 being the sigma male. I once had someone say 8s are more calm. 8s are more calm and they're more collected. They're not as reactive. And I'm like, are you actually retarded? I was thinking to myself, like, are you actually retarded? You think 8s are calm. They're sigma male, right? Because people have this perception, cool, sigma male type. You know, you criticize the 8 core and you insult them, you act insulting to them and you act disrespectful. They will take it. They're just gonna be like, la 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 la. They won't ever care because they're fucking chads. They're fucking ultra chads. Do you think a sigma male would even care or even react? They can't even be reactive because they're so cool. While in reality, it's a fucking reactive type that actually will react on impulse in many ways when disrespected or when people invade them in some type of way. It's not a cool sigma fucking male. If you want a cool stoic type, that's not fucking 8. So people should stop jerking it off. I agree. But paint the type as it is. Paint the type as it is, as a true person, true personality, not this idealized fucking version of it. Tori Amos. He's right, guys. That's what I was saying. Society turned mellowed you guys down. Yeah. Society mellows us down. You know what mellows people down to? Age, maturity, growth. I feel like I mellowed the fuck down big time. You know, big time. Sometimes I'm unrecognizable to some people who knew me in the past. They're like, "What the fuck happened to you, bro? What happened to you?" And it's like, yeah, I just became, I don't know, adapted to the new ways of the world. No more ape shit. But I don't know. I just, fuck. Um, Society is interesting. I mean, it's not like I want to fuck. I don't want the Wild West, Although I used to fantasize about like Wild West. Wouldn't that be fucking great? I used to think, if someone fucked with me or fucked with my loved ones or I had a problem with someone, I could just walk down the motherfucking street and shoot them. That would be it. We'd have a duel and we'd fucking shoot each other. I was thinking that. There would be no cops, nothing. That would be the rule. That would be the way. You wanted to do something, avenge someone or take revenge, you do that. But so that was like so cool. That's so cool. But the reality is, would I actually want to live there in a fucking place with no fucking society that's all fucked up? Probably not. So as much as I don't like society now because I feel like it's restrictive for people, I don't think society is bad. It's just the social media and the type of stuff that people are trying to brainwash everyone in. That's bad. Trying to, social media and society, they create dependency and they create mental illness. They create depression. They create anxiety, body dysmorphia. They create insecurities within people. It's not good. So that's what I don't like about society. The idea that that they are promoting things that are harmful and things that are, why should you give a fuck about those things? Even materialism, and I'm saying this as an SCE, let that sink in. Materialism, Why the fuck does this stupid society promote this obsession with materialism? You know, that being successful is about materialism. Why? That shit's not gonna help you. You think you're gonna be happy because you got money or you got new shoes? You're gonna be happy? You know, beautiful things are nice, but they ain't gonna fucking feed you. They're not there. They're not gonna fill your void, your fucking insecurities, your fuck ups, your coping. They're not gonna help. Which is why celebrities who become rich, commit suicide, end up depressed and miserable. They have all the money. Doesn't solve shit. So I wish society taught better things. I wish society wasn't as fake, because it's disgustingly fake. It's disgustingly fake. I mean, I was making a video about Hugh Jackman, actually, about his physique. Everyone knows, okay, he's on fucking steroids. He abuses substances. We all know that's obvious. But all of them are this way. Most of them are this way. I don't even say most. It's like all of them. They will lie. They tell you, no, it's this. It's 6,000 calories, and I did this, and I did yoga. And because if you buy my course, you're also going to look like this. The Rock, disgusting human. The Rock is a piece of shit of the highest order. And if I was The Rock, I don't know how the fuck I could live with myself. I'll be honest. If I was The Rock, I don't know how he wakes up and he lives. How do you look at yourself in the mirror, scamming people hundreds of dollars, selling them products based on your name, The Rock, has no value, and you sell people this pipe dream that this workout will work and they will look like you, or that they should buy this product and this whiskey and this alcohol and this beverage and it's great, and you're lying to everyone. You're lying everywhere you go. You're lying. You're just full of steroids. You're juicing your whole life. You say, well, I'm going to this restaurant, guys, for the first time. And even though you have been in the same restaurant 3 fucking times already, but every time you make it up a story how it's the first time trying it, just because you're a fake fucking cunt. You're not even fake in the normal. You're fake beyond measure. You are fake beyond measure. There's no way to measure your fakeness. You're beyond that. You have no opinion. You're a slave. You have no opinion. If you say something and the majority will disagree, you will start apologizing. I'm sorry, guys. It's not what I meant. Actually, I agree with you guys, and I meant this. Spineless behavior. You have no opinions. All of your opinions are simply PR shit managed by your PR team. You have no opinions. You stand for nothing. There's nothing. So people like The Rock are an absolute disgusting fucks of this society, in my opinion. Absolute degeneracy. Absolute, not a role model for any human. And if there are some kids out there and people who think The Rock should be a role model, I don't know what to tell you. But please know, he's not a fucking role model for anyone. I don't give a fuck about his, hard work, shit, yeah. But his approach, no, you should not fucking be, there's no fucking role model there. Uh, I'm not sure, And I mobilizing can zone out, and I base can zone out, and I creative can zone out. Many types can zone out. I don't want to say that it's necessarily linked with everything. Does someone count how many times Russ stretched his throat? It's not stretching my throat. It's like cracking it. I crack my neck, because I like the cracking sound. Actually, that's why. But yeah, that's why. Stereotypes, huh? I think that generally blah blah blah. Sid, what do you think most? Rasta, how do you deal with haters' comments? I feel like some of those comments would give me PTSD. Um, the truth is, I have dealt with haters since I was a teenager. Like, it's kind of crazy to imagine. Although maybe it's not crazy to imagine. I mean, look at me, right? Like, come on, look at my personality. It's kind of obvious. But I've dealt with haters since I was a teenager. So, like all my life, there was some motherfuckers hating on me. That's the way it was, in real life, in fucking online. If I was part of some gaming communities, I was fucking notorious in the community, and people hated my guts. He's fucking arrogant. Oh fuck, he's making fun of us, and they hated my guts. It's actually funny thinking about it now. I was like a fucking 15-year-old. They hated my guts, um and I don't know. I don't know. I think it's also your natural personality. That's who the fuck I was. I used to get a lot of fucking hate. I used to get a lot of negative attention. I would get positive attention, but also negative attention. You know, maybe because I'm brash. I can appear condescending. I can appear arrogant. So because I can appear that way, it makes people fucking upset. It makes people angry. And I mean, so they will hate. Some of them will hate. So you're used to it. You're kind of like in your element in a sense. As fucked up as that sounds, you're kind of like that's kind of your fucking life. That's kind of your fucking life. And I've heard many people who are popular. I've heard many, even when you look at celebrities, they say that they avoid social media. They say that they avoid it because they can't deal with it. They would they suffer mental health problems. And I don't think this shit is not for everyone. I'll be honest. If you are a person who is in the heat and people fucking hate on you, it's not for everyone. Most people I know personally, they would break mentally. That's the way it is. They would break mentally because humans are not. I don't think humans are supposed to be exposed to to the world like this. So it requires this very specific individual personality to want to be in that position and to be in that spotlight. But if, for example, you were doing something and you wanted to know how to deal with them, is to keep on doing your thing. Don't take it to your heart. If you're doing something, in your life and you have haters, hate comments, whatever the fuck, don't take it to your heart. Sometimes you can indulge in them a bit, have fun with them, question them. Maybe you're bored, have fun, have some fun, but look at it as a game. Turn it into a game. It's a game. It's a silly game. And the fact people can hate you so much, it can almost be funny. It can be funny, think funny and a bit disappointing for the human race, to be honest, because sometimes there were moments where I was actually disappointed in humanity because I thought, how can a human being be such a fucking loser? And I've met losers. I've met many losers in my life, but some is like this person shouldn't be. They don't benefit society in any way. They waste oxygen, and it's crazy. So sometimes mostly it's really funny, but sometimes when you have those cases when it's almost depressing for society that a human being like this is alive. It's. But keep on doing your thing. Whatever you're doing, you keep on grinding. You keep on going forward and focus on yourself. That's it. Always focus on your path. Don't focus on what other people are doing. And people who like you, people who don't like you, they are focused on you. You're not focused on them. They're focused on you. So your haters, they focus on you. You don't give a fuck about them. You don't even, they're irrelevant. Who the fuck are they? Right? So that's the mentality that I think many people could benefit from when trying to deal with haters. Ring fell. Which type do you think of the most when you hear Sigma Male Grindset? I think LSC Self Preservation 3. I think SP4 a bit, SP4 ESI a bit. That's the most likely. Social 3. I think Social 3 also. Uh, Since you brought this, Rust, I see this stupid idea in a Western mindset that true Sigma masculine chats don't react when disrespected. And if you do react in a way, that means that you are insecure, which is complete horseshit. Speed is SE sexually, yeah, probably. Fuck. Now, this is interesting because, yes, we have this idea of masculinity, whatever the fuck. And, people can argue whatever is the most masculine. LSC, self-preservation, 3, traditional man provider, calm, stoic. And okay, if people believe that, they can believe that. But stuff like masculinity and shit, that's not determined if you react when you're disrespected. I think it's a weird thing. If anything, I think if you allow too much disrespect, it's not good, because the reality is, if you allow for disrespect, there will be more disrespect, and you have to know when to react and when not to react. And that's the funny thing, right? When it comes to disrespect, you have to know when to react to disrespect, because that's the interesting thing. If it's someone in your circle, someone close to you, and they're disrespecting you, you should not. It depends. You can be forgiving. Maybe you understand, okay, they disrespected me, they had a bad day, maybe they apologize, that's fine, that's you move on. But it keeps happening, maybe it happened again, you call them out on it, you don't allow that behavior, you react to it. And I'm not saying react with fucking beat them up or act aggressively, but be stern. What is this shit? What's this behavior? So that's fine. Now, reacting to disrespect every single fucking time, it's also, there's no need to react to address it, to always address disrespect. Hey, don't fucking disrespect me like this. Like, if it's a random fucking person, the thing is, people have this idea they don't owe you respect. And that's the problem with society. They don't owe you respect. So if they disrespect you, they're like, you're gonna be like, hey, don't disrespect me. And they're gonna say, so what the fuck? What are you gonna do about it? I don't give a fuck about you. I don't respect you. What can you do? You're gonna force them to respect you? No. So with people like that, if they respect you or not, it shouldn't matter, because you cannot control their respect or disrespect. Now, people who you care about, those people in your circle, they should respect you, of course, and you should demand respect. And I'm not saying demand like you will respect me, but fight for your boundaries and don't allow disrespect. But also know when to be lenient. Someone spragging on your friend, had a bad day, he kind of spragged on you. That's fine. Shit happens. If it's true disrespect, you need to know when to react to it. And that's the way it works. Wow. Remember when I said Zaluma could be an example of an ENTJ8 like some 1 year ago? I saw him again. It was very clear SE. Simply, when you don't know, you don't know. Dude, listen, don't you even worry about it. I have been there. You know how many times I've said, this type is this type is ENTJ8, this type is, happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us. And there are some people who will tell you, no, you should never make such claims. It's fine. You were learning. So that's fine. In fact, you're always learning. So as long as you're improving, you win. The rock lynching community. Also, guys, I think I'm balding. Sorry, I had to comment. What should you do when you're balding? Well, you're balding. That's it. That pretty much is it. That's the end of the story. So if I was in your shoes, or anyone else's who's balding, whatever, that the way you deal with it is simple. You accept it. You accept it. You're balding. Okay, whatever the fuck. It is what it is. Don't cling to your fucking hair. And Positive thinking. You wanna don't be like, okay. So some people when they bald, they it doesn't look good because they allow it. They clinging to their hair, and it's obvious that they're desperately trying to keep whatever hair left. And that's not good because it doesn't even look good. It looks like shit. So fucking cut that motherfucker off. Depending on the severity of the balding. If you're balding a bit and whatever the fuck, you can still use different hairstyles. You can own it. There are many celebrities who are balding and they own it. They own it. I mean, fucking Henry Cavill is balding, bruh. He is balding and then he's rocking that motherfucker. So don't be ashamed of it. Don't be insecure about it. Understand that's natural progression of life. Balding is natural. That's what happens. To some people, that's what happens. That doesn't mean you're bad, you're good, whatever the fuck. It's just hair. I mean, if some people are jerking off to hair this much, how old are they? You know? Jesus fucking Christ. So, but don't cling to it. If you look at yourself and you're like it's fucked, shave that bitch off. Fucking own it. You know? To be fair, I wouldn't want anyone to see any negative traits. Javi Hami. Javi Kami. Javi Kami. Javi. I never knew how to pronounce your fucking name. That Javi. Javi. Because of Javier. Javi Kami. Fuck your name. I always never knew how to pronounce your name. My friend, come on. Why? But okay, to be fair, I wouldn't want anyone to see any negative trait side of myself, either if I was presenting myself to the world as a celebrity. Okay, well, I'm not saying that you should go out and be like, wow, look at all my negative traits. This is my negative traits. I'm not saying this. More so that I genuinely believe you are human. You need to acknowledge you are a human. And you know, you will have flaws. So if their flaws are visible to other people, that's fine. In my opinion, that's a good thing because at the end of the day, a celebrity is a role model for many people. So when kids look at you, when people look at you and then they see that shit and they're looking at you and they see you're flawed. I'm not saying like a fucking degenerate. I'm not saying like, you know, like you're nasty. I'm just saying you have some flaws. Maybe, you know, you can be a fucking jerk, or maybe you can be impulsive, or maybe, you know, kind of drink too much sometimes, or maybe you, whatever the fuck that you struggle with, some bullshit. Like transparency and you being honest about it, that's good. And because it also helps people to understand, hey, you know, people are not perfect because many people grow up thinking they grow up insecure, they grow up thinking they're not good enough because of those things, because they see people who are perfect, and perfection doesn't exist. All those celebrities who look perfect, it's superficial, as you said. There's nothing to underneath it. They're broken beyond repair. So I think there's some fucking pride to be taken into being who you are. Like, you know, you have flaws, and you should fuck it. You know, like be open about them. Or, and in the case of Rock, it's not even that he is not open about his flaws. He goes the opposite way. I'm perfect. He goes the opposite way. He paints himself as perfect. Perfect. And that's not good. It's one thing to not want to expose your shit to the public. I understand. But to paint yourself as perfect, genuinely, you fucking, that's unacceptable. You're going the other way around. That's the other way around, you know, in my opinion, at least. Spiraling from a type crisis. Please highlight the differences. Sexual 5 is going to be more, bro. You are you are not lucky. You got one of the worst subtypes differentiation. Literally, like 5 probably is one of the worst to differentiate and subtypes because they all look the same. But SP5 is the most docile, the most fucking passive, docile and closed off. That's how you're supposed to think of it. Most docile, most autistic, most closed off, like a castle. Sexual 5, idealistic, more rebellious, right? Focused more on intimate relation, obsessive, focused, hyperfixated on the other. Those are the kind of traits you can see with a sexual 5. So stop looking at just details. I always say, people, when you're trying to look at your subtype, what helps me also, look at the big picture. What are you focused on? Is it the same shit that SP5 is focused on, or is it the sexual 5 shit? Sexual 5 is much more interpersonal, much more interpersonal. So look at those things. That's my advice. Because I'm not a fucking expert on 5s. I'm gonna be honest with you. Maybe one day I'm gonna have my dual talk to me every single day, and my dual is gonna be like an SP5 or a social 5. Social 5. Maybe social 5 would be better. I'm not sure. Invictus, bro, I cannot imagine what I fucking appear to people if you appear arrogant. Well, Invictus, I think if people knew you, unironically, they probably hate your fucking guts, man. And I'm saying this as a person that I like you. I don't think I like you. You're friendly. You're nice. I really don't see an issue with you. But I can see why, they might think, wow, this guy has a fucking ego, or like, wow, But hey, they will think that of fucking anyone, right? So maybe at the end it doesn't fucking matter. Fuck materialism. Fight Club taught us good about these things, but that's probably a bigger problem in America. Yeah. My materialism is not that big of a deal in Europe, But America, it's a problem, big problem. Rust as a Big Daddy Dom. Oh my God, Big Daddy Dom. Okay. What do you think makes a man? I think what makes a man, it's not this idea that people have nowadays, which is, hey, be stoic, don't show emotion, don't be vulnerable, don't kind of be cold-blooded, you have to be an alpha male provider, you have to, those gender roles, like gender role, you have to know how to fix things, you have to me, that's not really men. And I know many people, like I've seen women describe manly men as men who can fix things, and he likes to tinker with objects, and he's a man because, like, he can fix things and he's a provider. It's like, I mean, to me, my opinion, the idea, I don't think that makes you anything. I don't think that should define you. Like gender role kind of type of shit in that way, at least. Like, the man being the provider, and he knows how to do certain things, and he doesn't show his emotions, and that's not necessarily what makes a man. I think when we're talking about the ideal or the manhood or the code of man, whatever the fuck, I think you're talking more about a man of values. I think you're talking more about a man who values things deeply and who fights for them. That's what I think it is. A family man at the end of the day, family man, a man who protects, a man who cares either about his community or his people, his loved ones, his fucking family, kids, whatever the fuck. But that's what they do. And they protect them. They care for them. They have strong beliefs. They have strong beliefs and they have strong convictions in the face of opposition, and they express it without any fear. They defend those beliefs. They defend those beliefs regardless of the negative feedback. That's what would make a man. Although that also what makes a strong person, right? So that's the problem. What makes a man makes a strong person. Same shit. So you can be a woman and you can be that way too. But it's someone who I think ideally is able to be tough, right? Be strong. Be someone who can offer support to his loved ones, to his people, but also give them empathy. That would be the ideal, I think. Ideal. Like someone who can have empathy for them, who can lead them, um, be compassionate, but also be tough. Be compassionate, but also be ready to throw down, to get his hands dirty. That's what I think it is. So I don't think it's any of the shit nowadays we see fucking Andrew Tate talking about. That's not fucking man, like obsessing about women, about success. That to me, that's not a fucking man, because that's just a circular jerk idea. I don't think, at least in the idea of what a man is, the ideal of man, they shouldn't give a fuck about materialism anyway. Like this, I think it's weird. But um, more importantly, what makes a strong person? That's important, because you'll meet women and you'll meet men, and you will want strong people, good people. I can relate to SB8, but well, I'm not sure if I'd say SB8 is indifferent to materialism. If anything, they're probably the most materialistic 8 core. Don't look at it though. Like, you zone out. You don't type yourself because of traits like this. Look at the big picture. Look at your super ego. Look at your ego block. Don't just look at traits. Like, I zone out. I piss when I'm standing, or I piss when I'm sitting. Don't use that to type yourself. Look at the elements. Look at the blocks. Yo, yeah, I'm messy. I'm sorry, but I'm messy all the way. Ross, how is the three conformist if they are negative about others' will? Well, I think the third will has I think one of the biggest misconceptions about third will overall is that they're spurgy. They aren't. They aren't, and they're conforming because it's a weird duality. They're not. There's a fear of standing out, going outside of society. There's a fear of it. Even in the sexual 6, you see this fear of being prosecuted, fear of, if they rebel, they're always looking if there's anyone who might do something. So a third will person, even if it's others negative about their will, that doesn't suddenly mean that they're going to be rebellious, because you have to have confident will to rebel. Like, to truly rebel against society and all the expectations, truly, you have to be confident in your will. So even just because you're negative when it comes to other will, that doesn't mean as much as the lack of confidence in that placement, in my opinion. For example, third logic. Third logic can think for itself, sure, but it's very easily influenced by people, very, and wants to be seen as intellectual, wants to be seen as smart. That doesn't want to be humiliated in the intellectual sense. Doesn't want to be humiliated in the thinking sphere, right? So it avoids that. It can avoid putting himself in that position to be humiliated in that area. But it's easily influenced by people. Despite its aggressiveness, sometimes it's also easily influenced. It wants advice. It wants to be surrounded by people who are smart. Same thing applies. For me, what makes a man is what makes himself, not just doing things because they're scared other guys will find them pussy. You live life on your own terms. I like this mentality, yeah. I like this. I think you guys have good perception of it, I think. This is very nice perception of on the topic. I adopted my type because I think I have high SC. Well, you think you have high SC, you know? This is the typical fucking IE dilemma. You motherfuckers think you have good SC. You probably think you understand like beauty and shit and aesthetics, you know, and what looks good and you think that. But you guys are not good at it. There is lack of nuance and shit. I'm the same way about any. I mean, think about it. I have any role. I'm the same way. So and it's good. You think you're good at it. You don't want people to dictate it for you. You don't want fuckers to come in and tell you. So I get that. You know, I get that completely. And you judge people based on their willpower. You the people's worth based on aesthetics, on their will, on their kinetic energy, on their looks, whatever the fuck. That's very true. Fuck. This is my friend. Explain my. This is too different. Those types. I would be lying to you if I said they have anything in common. I don't even know where to start. They have nothing in common. What do you type? That Solomon guy you interviewed. Solomon. Solomon thinks he's an LIE 5 core. If I am not mistaken, I think he types as LIE 5 core. I tried to talk. I remember talking to him in the comment section. I tried to tell him and some of his people that, you know, you cannot be a 5 core and a TE base, but he did not seem to be convinced. I was even using quotes and shit from Naranjo books, but that's what he types, LIE 5. And I'm skeptical of. I'm not sure if I'm skeptical of him being LIE. Very skeptical because FE role, I don't see FE role. That's one big problem. FE role plus. You know, that's I don't see FE role in him. LIE is literally described in classic as the type to cheer up people, to poke at them, to get reactions of them, cheerful, and they want to maintain a positive and cheerful emotional atmosphere. I don't see this in really in Solomon. You know, I don't see that FE plus really. It's more FE polar almost. He doesn't want to. I don't think he wants people to. He doesn't engage in it. He doesn't want people to engage in it. That's what I see at least. And that's kind of one of the points. And also any demo. I'm not sure if I see any demo. Like any demo wants to earn praise because of its capabilities, abilities. They show them off. And I'm not sure if he does that. I also, you know, YTE base, you know, YTE base. So I'm skeptical. I think he could be just an ILI 5 core. I'm not sure he even fits. I think I think that he doesn't even probably fit LIE in classic sociologics. You know, I like him a lot, but I'm not sure about in classic sociologics. I'm not sure about. I read about SP5 from Ravens. It describes SP8 can live in a car, whatever, and be fine with it. Well, I would never describe, listen, can an SP8 live in a car and be okay with it? It has happened many times. Jorge Masvidal, I don't know if you know him, a famous fighter. He lived in a car. He lived in a gym because he wanted to become a fighter. But it's not his ideal life was not to live in a fucking car. He was not okay with just, he bear it and he go over it, but he was accomplishing his goals. So if you see an SPA who genuinely is just okay with living in the fucking car, having nothing, well, then why is he SPA? SPA is literally about getting satisfaction and getting what they want. So it's a bit weird when you see that, you know? Like, I'm not saying like SPAs have to be materialistic fucks and they have to only money, but they have to have some of the desire to get what they want, some things they want. That's funny. Have you considered SP9? Yeah, I mean, Leon is kind of right. I mean, this kind of sounds like first physics, if anything, like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, more of an attitude of first physics, if anything. Yo, Rust, who do you think is a good role model right now? Who should Tate lovers look up to instead? Fuck. 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 The social media is polluted by pure fuckfest. So I'm not even sure if there is anyone that the generation should look up to. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not. Not. No one specific comes to mind. I mean, okay, fuck it. I know someone, but this is not like a social media person. Khabib Nurmagomedov. I think if people want to look up to someone, like if you want people to look up to someone who's good, like solid values, everything, Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's a fighter though. He's a UFC fighter. He's not like a presence. But if you want to have a role model, I think that's a fucking great role model. That's a great role model. Look up to your father. That would be ideal, But listen, to become a Tate lover, you kind of cannot have a father. Many Tate lovers and many people, many men who are very love Tate, they look up to him. He's wow, he's amazing. They generally don't have a father or a strong father figure. The thing is, you need a strong father figure, and if they don't, that's what happens. So maybe they don't have a father to look up to. That can happen. Hamza, yeah. I'm also between social 2 and social 3 for Hamza. I kind of feel social 3 is a bit more. He doesn't seem as vulnerable to me. He doesn't seem as vulnerable. So he might be like some fucking ESC section 3, and he's also full of shit, Just another. He's also full of shit. He's this fucking. I'm a card leader. The guy jerks off to the fact he's a card leader. That's my thing. How the fuck you gonna like relate to a man who sees himself as a cult leader. He doesn't view himself as one of the people. Think about that. He's not one of the people. He's not. He's not one of you. He's a cult leader. He knows things you don't know. He is a messiah. You look up to him. He's on a pedestal. And he views himself that way. That's cringe. That's one of the most cringe things. That's cringe. He's not one of the people. He's not. And that's a problem. That is a problem. What types would you say most likely to follow? Many types, you know. I mean, three cores would follow Tate. Some SP7s could follow Tate. I mean, there are many types who could follow Tate. Many types. Man, you're gonna find 8 cores who like Tate. I'm sure there are I think there were 8 core celebrities who said they like Tate. Many people can like him. Follow him is a bit different. Do you take creatine? No. You know, my history with creatine was that I used to take it. You know, I remember the first time I took creatine, I was 15. So I was 15, and I was taking creatine. And I was taking it for a while, and a few years later, I took it again. I think I was 20. I was 20, I think 20, when I was taking creatine. For a few months, and then I tried to take creatine again. I was 25, I think. I never took it for long periods of time, on a few months, but I don't take creatine now. So it's been years I don't take creatine, and honestly, I don't do it because when I'm taking creatine, something happens. Like I need to drink so much more water. Like I drink good amount of water, but I need to drink even more, which is honestly annoying. And I piss and I need to. I for some reason when I'm on creatine, I want to piss all the time. I want to piss so often because of creatine. Like I piss so often because I'm drinking all the time. I'm all the time drinking, so I'm pissing all the time. So I go fucking annoyed. I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck about this shit. Like creatine, yes, creatine helps you with, there's water in the muscles. You can exert more force. You can exert more strength. You can heal better. Do more reps. If you can do like 7 reps now, maybe you can do 9 or 10. But do I need that? Like I'm just gonna go pure, and that's it. It's gonna take a bit longer, maybe a bit, but I'm not. It's fine. It's fine. That's the problem with creatine for me, at least. Yeah, had to piss all the time. How to stop saying offensive things as an SE? Honestly, I'll tell you the truth about saying offensive things as an SE. I know why you say it. It's amusing. It amuses you. It makes you feel good. It's a good feeling. It's funny. It's entertaining. So funny when people get bothered. I get that. I understand that. I sympathize with this disease that you have. And honestly, whatever I will tell you, I'm guessing you're younger than me. I'm 29. I'm guessing you're probably younger. Whatever I will tell you, it will not make sense to you. If I tell you, bro, like consider people's feelings, bro, it's not mature. It's not mature to behave that way. You're not gonna give a fuck. You're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna give a fuck. I like it. So obviously, me saying that's not gonna do shit. But I'll tell you this: in few years, you'll become older, right? You'll become older. You'll become wiser, and you'll become more mature. Hopefully, you'll become more healthy, right? You will grow to understand yourself better. And over these years, you will look back and you'll understand, like, what the fuck was the point of this? The reason why you like saying offensive things, at least if you like them and you take pleasure in them, there's something that's not truly satisfied in you. It's funny. You're not mature. You didn't, wisen up. You don't see the impact, and you don't give a fuck about the impact it has on people. You don't give a fuck about how people view you. You don't give a shit. I get that. But in the end, years later, you'll look back and be like, wow, that was cringe. I was a fucking moron. I was fucking what? Acting like a fucking kid. That's it. And I've noticed, for some reason, I don't have the urge to say fucking offensive shit anymore. It's weird. And do you know why? It's almost like the more healthy I became, the less I wanted to say offensive shit. It's like when I truly felt like content. Like I felt content with everything. I just don't have the desire to do that. I don't have the desire to disrupt. I don't have the desire to cause chaos anymore. It's funny. It's just I don't have that. But when I was more unhealthy, I was always bored. Always bored, always bored. And saying offensive shit was one of the ways that could help me elevate my boredom. But now I don't feel bored like that. It's I don't feel this chronic boredom anymore. It's not chronic. It was chronic. It was restless boredom, scary boredom for people to be around, unpredictable boredom. But I don't feel that way. I don't feel this bored anymore. I feel normal bored. I'm bored. I need a bit more stimulation, but I don't feel this existential boredom. And maybe that's also your problem. Who knows? I'm done procrastinating. Yeah, well, you should fucking get to work. Now watch this shit. Man. SLEs have SFE, SCEs don't. Well, Tommy, no. Every type has FE. Think of it this way: every type has FE, and every type also has FI. But it's a question of where, which block, which element is it, which placement is it? Is it role? Is it vulnerable? Is it ego? Is it creative? Is it demonstrative? Where is this FI? Where is this FE? SCEs have FE. They have a lot of FE, but it's demo. And it's FE minus, okay? People don't fucking seem to understand what FE minus even fucking is. But yeah, fuck. Besides the point. Ross, do a server for all of us to talk, mate. I just joined to tell us when you are alive. When you are alive. There are some nice people. Yes, I'm glad you agree. The people you see here, like for example, Invictus, Denezo, who else? Joshua, Pathetic, Theotube, Solar Online. There were few of them, also others that are very, very often seen on this channel. They often interact with people here, and I would say the people who are most engaged in the channel, people who are into like the streams, they're great. They're amazing. So all the people in the streams, they're fucking based. So I agree with you. They're based. They are based. But a server, man, fuck, you know how that goes, man. I hate. I don't like Discord. I like Gilded. Is it Gilded? Fuck it. I should make like a Gilded rusted typology server, and if anyone wants to join, they have to download Gilded. Fuck it. That's the requirement. Gilded was much better than, at least it looked. They had forums. Gilded had forums, although they added forums now. But Gilded had forums when Discord had no forums, and the organization level of Gilded is so much better. Everything is so. So I remember, fucking whatever. Come on, man. Don't even join just when you go live. Yeah, but what's the point of making a community when I'm not part of it? That's the problem. When I make something, I'm gonna feel responsible to take care of it. I'm gonna feel responsible to manage it, and that's how I am. If I make something, if I make something, I better fucking make sure it's good. I make sure I'm involved in it. I'm gonna make sure I'm in fucking, I'm involved in this whole fucking thing, and you know, um, if I just let people to their devices, and I allow it for everyone, it's gonna become a fuckfest. It will become genuinely trash. Like it will, the quality will go to shit. Trust me, it will be fucking nightmare. So unless there's a way to, it would have to be controlled. It would have to be verified. People would have to be verified. People would have to be accepted manually, one by one, and people who are trusted. Trusted enough. They ain't fucking trolls. They want to learn, but they ain't trolls because there's so many trolls on Discord. So many. And especially if they would know I have a Discord channel, they would fucking raid the fuck out of that server. Raid that motherfucker. For sure. For sure. So, yeah, that's kind of it. But I don't know. Having a community, I would feel responsible about. I would put more time into handling the community, and you know how I am. I would spend more time talking to the people and managing the community than I would spend actually working on my channel or growing coffee or growing what the fuck, which would kind of not be very pragmatic for me. I mean, it would be, I'm kind of not prioritizing the right things. What is this? I can see it. A lot of trolls. Beta Quadra. Nah, nah. Make Raven a moderator. He would not be interested, I don't think he would be interested. I think Raven is past. He's past servers. He's past public servers. He's past all of that shit because I'm his friend, and we are in a server which is only for his closest friends. And I'm telling you, the guy he's not into that shit. Not anymore. So, but I don't know. Maybe one day I'm gonna make a server. But Discord, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Discord. I don't know how I feel about Discord. That's the biggest problem. Gilded. Maybe I would consider making a community on Gilded. I could possibly do that. And Gilded is similar to Discord, but it offers much more. And we can make it, and it offers more communities, different communities within one server. So one server can have Enneagram community, Socionics community, multiple communities separately. On Discord, you can't do that shit. You have one server and you can maybe create different channels. But on Gilded, you have one server, main server, but then you have sub servers, sub communities. So you can have Enneagram community, Socionics community, and it's all separate. It's all nicely separate. So in many ways, it's more aesthetic. It looks better. It's there's not as much of you need to pay for shit like. So if I was to make a community, maybe it would be on Gilded. Maybe it would be on Gilded, assuming Gilded is still alive. Gilded still works, because yeah, I would, yeah, I could do that then, and if anyone is interested, they would download Gilded. Fuck that. That's the fucking way. Sorry, you want to be part of the community, get Gilded, because Discord is toxic, like this guy said. I mean, look. I was literally on a server and there was a dude posting photos of dead people. That's Discord. That's Discord. That's Discord. And I'm 29, bro. Like, I'm too old for that shit. I'm too old to be dealing with fucking shit like this. So if we make a community, I'm not sure if Discord is the area. If I make a community, I'm not sure Discord would be the fucking platform I would use, just because of the associated garbage that it is on that platform. Hey Rust, another I see. Have you ever experienced some kind of emotional disconnection too? I'm sure it has to do some with feeling repression, which may later fucking hit hard. Yeah, I mean, fucking emotional disconnection. I think that's me. It's kind of why I used to think I was like a logical type. I used to type myself as an SLE. People used to type me as an SLE in Western socionics. I'm just not very. I can be very emotionally disconnected. I can, from people, emotionally disconnected from people, like blank. It's almost this blankness to it, indifference, emotional coldness. It's just nothing. Blank, motherfucker is blank, nothing. It's like, I don't know. It's like pulling away. It's a feeling of you're not there. You're not there for people. They try to reach you, but you're not there. So I had this experience. Even in my intimate relationship, I would have certain days where it's like I'm not there emotionally. It's weird. It's just I'm not entertained as emotionally, or I'm not as responsive emotionally. So I need to be grabbed almost, and I need, hey, come back, get feel it, get the closeness, get the feeling. That's how it is for me, at least, in those situations. And I think, when I was a bit more unhealthy, the emotional disconnection was more severe. For me, it was very severe. I just felt like I had no feelings. Literally, like I felt like I had no feelings. Like, I guess the only feeling I had was anger. I felt like I had no fear. I had no anxiety. I had no sadness. I had no empathy. I had nothing. I felt like I had no feeling. Like I was a completely fucking emotionally fucking disconnected completely from everything. When I was really unhealthy, I had a period like that. Shit happened. I experienced death in my family. That's the consequence. I did not deal with the situation. I was like, la 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 la. I moved on like nothing fucking happened. Guess the fuck what? That shit did not help. Because even though I was, I moved on, or I thought I moved on, there was deterioration. My psyche was fucking like changing. Like it was like every negative thing was appearing, and this emotional deadness was present. The feeling like I just don't. Like what's I don't think I can even love. Think about that. Like that was my feeling. Like I don't think I can love. That during that time, I felt like I'm not sure if I even can get attached to people. I can even love people. Like genuinely attached and love them. Even though I'm that kind of person, I can love, and I can get attached, and I can care about people. And I was that way before that happened, and I'm that way now. But during that time, it was just such emotional coldness. It's scary, for people to deal with it, because blank, there's nothing there, which is weird. You're an ethical type. You're an ethical type, so you can give an impression of warmness. Maybe you can give an impression something's there, but nothing is there. It's empty. It's a fucking desert. So fuck. Russ, have you ever watched 60 Days? And no, I did not. I did not watch that. If you make that community, I'll be there. Thank you, Liu Kang, which by the way is a based character. I listen. I have affinity with you people here. You know, I trust you guys, and I know you guys are loyal. And I know you guys are loyal. So if there's some fucking anti-correlationist motherfucker, you would have butchered him like a pig, and I like it. I like it. You stand for something. You stand for the good shit. I like it. Okay? Like Invictus here. Would gladly war. Look at this. See this attitude. He'll go to war. He'll butcher people. That's the fucking. But obviously, I wish we don't need to do that. Preferably, I wish we can minimize conflict because, come on, fuck, it's Discord. Discord is just pure drama. I would like to minimize conflict, and I would just have us, all of us, exchanging takes, learning, benefiting from each other, learning things, right? Posting on the forums because they are forums, learning, interacting with one another, meeting each other, getting on a call where the fuck. That's nice. But this drama shit, we would waste time, man. We would get involved. It would escalate. So did you get a new freaking haircut again? World War II Polish soldier with PTSD. Nah, I didn't get a new haircut. Actually, I did not cut my hair ever since last time you said I looked like a fucking war veteran with PTSD. Took that as a compliment, by the way. No, but I did not. I did not get a haircut. Listen, I'm a lazy motherfucker with my hair. Lazy motherfucker. Like whatever, you know. It looks this way because I was sleeping. I was fucking sleeping, and I woke up, and then my hair was looking like that. That's why. That's right. But did not get a new fucking haircut. Next time, I'm gonna do something crazy with my fucking hair. Do like a fucking strip. Fuck it, PTSD hit too hard. Every person I met on some, yeah, they are very mentally the fuck ill people. That's why we don't listen. People who need help should seek it. They should not be on the server of Discord. I'm telling you. yo, look at this, yo. Oh, that's fucking good. That's the fucking World War III, bro. Like, imagine that shit, bro. What the fuck? A question I have is there any person who have not been almost any type? I have been melancholic, romantic, cold. We change. People change. People. I don't type myself just by looking my childhood, but you might be underestimating the complexity of your personality. Meaning, like, what if I tell you that you are romantic, but you're also cold, and you also can be a troll, and you can be serious? What if all of those traits are part of your personality? Because you're trying to see, well, if I'm romantic, I can be cold. If I'm romantic, I can be a troll. If I'm romantic, I can be serious. If you're all of those things at once, that's the complex experience of being a human being. So you have a type for sure, okay? You just, again, my friend, not looking at the right thing. You're not having the right sources. Classic socionics, Oshra, classic socionics. Google that shit. Augusta, Google that shit. Augusta projects. You'll find answers there. Yeah, yeah. I think every eight core I think will relate to it. This emotional deadness. I mean, that's how I would say it, and I understand it so well now with insight, with introspection. It's like I felt so emotionally dead that I felt this constant existential boredom. And because I felt this constant existential restless boredom, I had to create chaos. I had to be stimulated in some type of way, even if my stimulation was harmful to my environment in whatever way. So it's a cycle. You act out to be more stimulated, you create conflict. You create conflict to feel alive. You create conflict to feel things because you're bored. It's like you're chasing this feeling of being alive, but you're bored so much because you are feeling you're emotionally dead. You're emotionally fucking decapitated. And I feel that's what changed because now I'm not emotionally dead. I feel in touch with all the feelings I used to feel when I was a bit younger, when I was in my as 18, 19, 17. I feel the same way. I'm in touch with that part. I'm in touch with those feelings. I'm in touch with compassion like I used to be. So I'm in touch with those feelings and now I'm not bored like that. It's funny. Now I'm not bored and now I'm not acting the same way. Oh, because I'm not emotionally fucking dead. Russ, do you do any form of sports or martial arts? Martial arts, I like to hit the body bag. I like to practice some moves. I like to move a bit. So I just do some boxing on a fucking body bag, but nothing's too serious. I train some techniques. It's a good cardio. It's a good cardio. E4 sounds like anhedonia. Yeah, genuinely, it kind of is. Can be that way. It can be that way. It's weird being an ethical type and being that way. It's very weird. Um, which makes me laugh because I had some people try to tell me you have to be 3E, and I'm like, if you understood like my approach or attitude to fucking emotions, you'd have never fucking typed me 3E, or you've either say that SCEs have to be 3E, because that's not my experience with emotions. No, I'm not coping about emotions and I'm not trying to process them. No, I don't give a fuck. That's the point. I did not give a shit about emotions. They were completely irrelevant. And I was emotionally fucking dead. Dead. So it's weird. You type yourself ESFP and you're like a feeling type. How the fuck am I a feeling type? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, my fucking foot is tangled. How am I a feeling type? Feeling type. I don't get that. Weird. Yakuza runs Yakuza. He's Yakuza. You know what's fucking crazy? You know what's crazy? Obviously this is not like this is not because I was like, oh yeah, I was in Yakuza. I'm not saying that. Obviously it's not that, but it's kind of funny that you mentioned Yakuza because when I was like a teenager, I remember I was like 16 and I was like playing video games and I had this group. I made this group and it was called Yakuza. So it was like a group of people and we were recruiting people and that shit was called Yakuza actually. So it's actually fucking hilarious. So we had like the fucking uh, Yakuza like symbols and shit. And we were playing as Yakuza. It was really fucking funny. So it's funny you mentioned that shit, but yeah, fuck. At least if I cannot be Yakuza in real life, I'ma be Yakuza in gaming. Fuck it. You cannot overthink this. Do not overthink this. Don't overthink this. You have a type. Everyone does. I'll buy a video call, Rust. Yeah, okay, but listen, Greg, anytime. It's like $20 or something. So if you want to, I'll help you. Okay, I'll help you figure out your type. I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to typing people because I actually was. I had a call with someone, good guy, a few days ago, and he was the first person on call who I could not figure out. First person. I've typed 6 people, maybe 7, something like that. I don't know. And it was very easy on call. It was very easy to find their type. But this one person, I was so confused about their type. Introverted, for sure. But I came to a conclusion of the thing. They seem like an irrational type. They're an intuitive type, and they seem like an IEI. Isn't that crazy? I could not figure it out. I was like, is this a fucking ILI? Is this a fucking LII? Is this a fucking EII? What the fuck is this? I was so confused. But I think it might be an IEI. And guess what? I could not figure it out. 2 hours I was on the call. I could not figure it out. But guess what? I decided I'm gonna die, but I will find his type. Like confidently. I will be confident about his type. Not just like, yeah, I think I confident, and I'm gonna be able to explain. I will gather an army of people to make sure he's typed correctly. So that's what the fuck I'm gonna be doing. Saturday, I'm gonna be having another call with him, right? And I'm gonna bring a fucking army to type him. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna bring an army to type him, and he will be typed. I don't give 2 fucks. So if you will trust me, we will type, if I'm gonna be typing you, I will move the mountains. Make sure you get typed. Simple as. That's all I can tell you. Oh fuck. What do you think about? I don't think it makes sense, bro. You know, SP3 is very sensorical type, bro. Come on. I don't think it makes sense. I have been typed SO8 and SX8, but don't really understand. Been typed SLE EIE. EIE cannot be 8. SLE cannot be SX8. In fact, honestly, SLE cannot even probably be social 8. So you're kind of fucking. You're probably not even. You're probably an SCE, bro. Like, you're probably a fucking SCE. You know. That's the most likely thing. That's the most likely. You're probably an SE. Although maybe, I mean, fucking, maybe you're not anything like this. Maybe you're not even an 8. Okay, I mean, getting typed a fucking EIE and a fucking 8-core SX8 is pretty crazy. But we live in Western sociologics. This shit happens. Holy fuck. Fuck. I finally joined the stream. Welcome. Welcome, new person. Have you ever typed any character from a visual novel? What the fuck is a visual novel, though? Like, what do you mean visual novel? Like a comic? Like something I see the pictures and then I type them? Why visual novel? Like a novel, I understand, but visual novel? Yo, what's up, Guts? Nice to see you, man. What do you think about the relationship between eights? People tend to think it cannot work. But I disagree. I know a few eights, sexual 8 and SP8. Sexual 8, we get along very well. In fact, all the eights I know that I personally, we get along very well. We get along very well, no doubt. In fact, I know an SP8. You're talking about an SP8. I know an SP8 for 2 years. 2 years. We met on Typology. I would be lying to you if he's like my brother. Like, I'm not even like, I treat him like my brother. Like, that's the reality. He views me like that's the bond we have. He's like a fucking brother to me. I'm like a brother to him. The guy has helped me so much, really supported me in Generous motherfucker. Really, the most generous person I've met, which is funny, right? Because people think SP8 is fucking selfish douchebag. Very generous person. Fuck. But a genuine, like a brother to me. And I was there to make sure to help him, to make sure he overcomes his fucking struggles and becomes the fucking best version of himself. And guess the fuck what? It worked. It fucking did. He did it. He fucking did it. Easy peasy. But we have this bond, and obviously we're like brothers. We're like brothers, so I'm sure he was gonna invite me to his wedding soon. So I'm gonna go there probably, But I don't think you have to like. It doesn't work because SE-DOMs clash. I'm not very interested in. I'm not very interested in talking to an 8-core who wants to clash with me. I'm not very interested to measure my fucking dick with another person like this, especially when I'm trying to be their friend. Or I'm not interested in that shit. I don't want to like measure myself against them. I just want to spend a good time and with them and have a good relationship. I don't give a fuck about anything else. So for me, there's no drama. Like, I don't cause drama. In fact, there was I remember me and SPA. He kind of had a. He wasn't aggressive, but he had a. Let's say he had a F5 vulnerable moment with me a bit, and he kind of reacted, and then I could have it wasn't aggressive, but kind of like, what the fuck, I'm good. But I could have been like, what the fuck, I'm trying to help him or something, and he's doing this to me, he's trying to respond to me. But no, I did not take it personally. I'm like, listen, just want to help, I'm not saying I'm not pushing shit on you, nothing. It's good. And I'm not trying to fight him. I'm not trying to fight him about it. I'm not trying to be like, fuck yeah, I'm this fucking tough motherfucker. I'm not trying to do that. I'm like, it's chill. I don't wanna fight with him, Even if he was mad at me, I don't wanna fight with him. I don't wanna fight with them. I don't wanna fight. Even if you go upset at me, and I don't wanna fight. I don't want a conflict. I don't want that. You're like a brother to me. I don't want that. I don't want that. Many people, I can do that. I don't want to do that with you. So we have a strong fucking connection like that. I think it's bullshit. I think fucking 8-cores can be like brothers, like fucking war brothers. Like shit. Like if someone fucks with any of them, they will fuck them up. That's the level of loyalty. That's the level of loyalty 8-cores can have. You fuck with me, you fuck with him. You fuck with him, you fuck with me, and they will fuck you up. They don't give a shit. They will do that. So, and I like that shit. It's warrior shit. It's fucking warrior shit, Yeah, well, I've never typed anyone from a novel. Sorry, I don't not read novels. I apologize. I don't not read novels. Can I buy a video call just to talk about life? Unironically, you can buy a video call for therapy. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, the amount of times I have given therapy to people, like in my environment, like unironically, I was like the therapist guy. I'm a fucking therapist guy. Like everyone, the amount of fucking times I had to like help someone or help a friend, or like that's what the fuck I did. Relationship, mental health issues with emotional stuff, regulation, whatever the fuck, I was there. So if you want to talk about life, you want to fucking even have fucking issues, you fucking struggle with relationships, fuck it, I'll fucking help you, dude. No fucking problem. Therapy, no problem. I do that shit for free. So with a video call, I'm gonna therapize you for 4 hours, no problem. On BO2, BO2, man, good fucking times. My client was National Animal Zoo Institute. You motherfucker, really? Really, National Animal Zoo Institute. Really now, it was that. You fucking, you fucking genius, genius. After that got banned, we became. After that got banned, we became insanely sacred, invisible saints. Okay, yep, yep, that's good. That's fucking funny. Rashiro, thank you, man. Thank you for offering even this. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you. Well, I have you on Discord, so if anything, if I can figure out, it's good because I know you love to geek over that shit. So I'll go to you next time. Nah, the SPA I know is very caring, bro. Like he's caring. He's generous. He is generous. Like this guy, he has given more money to people in need or to or even like charities than probably anyone I know. It's on for him. It's the principle. He's a Muslim, so that's the religion too. But that's the principle, and he does this, and then he's very loyal and then very very generous. Good. He obviously we're not saints. We're not saints. But I think he has a good heart. That's why I think. So yeah. It's a common thing for 1Vs not to measure yourself against others. Um, I think 1V is misunderstood, at least when you're looking at the context of syntax of love. Because when we think about 1V from syntax of love, we imagine someone who is a bum. He that like when we don't think about I'm saying when we think about 1V without looking at the sources of syntax, we think like a bum. Like he's a bum. He doesn't give a fuck. He has no care about his image. He's a fucking degenerate. He does whatever he wants, and it's like that's not really 1V. That's not really 1V. 1V is prideful. In fact, it is very prideful, and it refuses to put itself in a situation where they will be humiliated. So 1V is not this person who just doesn't care. Like, well, I don't give a fuck. I'm just pursue my own path. Just type yourself 4V. But that's not 1V. 1V gives a fuck. 1V has an ideal of who they are, and they will live up to it. They will live up to it. Arrogantly, even so. But 1V, that doesn't also mean that you don't give a fuck about your image. No. And if anything, I remember about syntax of love, I think 1V is so excessive. He gives impression of someone who doesn't give a fuck about his image because of the excessive inflated sense of self. But they pay attention to it. That's how they're described. To a certain degree, they are oriented towards it, which is why social 2 is so perfectly fucking 1V in syntax of love. But is it true that the 1V does never measure itself against others? I don't think so. I don't think so. And it doesn't mean it has to be coping. Oh, you don't measure yourself against it. The 1V always, the 1V is internally driven. Yes. It's driven by itself. So it looks for itself. It's competing with itself, but it also sees the competition. Who the fuck is on top? Who needs to get decapitated? Who's the opposition? I'm going. That's what I'm going for. That's number one. I'm going there. But that doesn't mean that they're focusing like, oh yeah, oh my god, I didn't do as good as this person. Oh wow, what do I do now? How would one compare obsession from SP8 has towards people as territory from the SO8 who covers and with their and associate with their person? Because I think if you just hyperfixate on those things, you're not gonna figure it out. You're not gonna figure it out. For example, my SP8 friend, he's capable of being possessive in his relationships, no issue whatsoever. Very possessive and protective, possessive. Right now, SX8 can be the same way: possessive, protective. Social 8 can be the same way: possessive, protective. So it's not that you look at just that thing. You look at the big picture. My friend is SP8. You could never confuse him with me because we're very different. He is like a lone wolf of the highest fucking order. He's not really going around trying to make social impact or be involved with people and involve himself in communities or spaces or places. No, he doesn't do that. He's just, he's there. If I involve him in my group, I involve him in the activities and he's taking part of it. But he himself doesn't really do that. He's just, yeah, he's more lone wolf in that way. You don't see that social orientation with him, that expansiveness in the social sphere, which you see with a social aid. Social aids, there's always some cause or there's always something that they're doing with people or whoever the fuck, always. So that's a big differentiation. So that's what you look at the big picture. That's my opinion. You look at the big picture. This SP8 person, right? That's but maybe you're asking like, how does the obsession compare? Which is different. That I might have misunderstood your question. When in that case, I think eights are possessive naturally. I think all of the 8 cores are possessive the same way. So you might not see the difference. The SPA in a relationship with possessive of the woman can be the same fucking psychotically fucking possessive like a sexual 8. So I think possessiveness and obsessive shit about the people, it can be the same fucking way. That's what I think. But who the fuck knows? Okay, guys, give me 2 minutes, then I need to leave. Okay, because I actually told my wife, which is literally, yeah, I told my wife, hey baby, I'm just gonna fucking talk for like 1 hour. I'm not interested. I took a nap. I'm not very energetic today. I don't want to like talk for 3 fucking hours. I'm just gonna talk for 1 hour, and I tell her this every time. I told her this today. Hey, just 1 hour. And look at this fucking 3 hours. 3 fucking hours. See? Fuck. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. Fuck me. Fuck. Fuck you, dude. Come on, man. That's not like yo. Come on. Fuck you, dude. I have stitches. I still have stitches. Don't make me laugh, prick. I have stitches in my I have stitches here, underneath, stitches. So you making me laugh, I can it causes pain. Oh fuck. The point is, listen. I love my wife. She's my life, okay? And I know I didn't prioritize you motherfuckers over her. I just didn't. I start talking, and when I start talking, I don't stop. And you guys keep fucking asking me questions, and I enjoyed fucking answering questions, and I keep on fucking getting baited, and then I fucking keep on doing it, and that's it. And 3 hours later, I don't have any comprehension of time. I don't understand time. I'm sitting here 3 hours. I thought I'm sitting here for 1 hour. Fuck. We can wait. We can. Wife can wait. We need followers and Gilded server. I will think about the Gilded server. Okay. I will. I will think about the Gilded server. I promise. I will think about it. And if I decide, I will. If I decide it, then it will be created, and everyone will. You guys will be invited. Okay. I might actually host a stream specifically for that, to see which one of you we want in. We want it to be a bit inclusive, not exclusive, I guess, while still being inclusive. We don't want fucking degenerate trolls, basically. So let's see. That's funny. What do you think about these who think is not the same? And what do you think about those people who think is not as sexy because his relationship with his father? Um, God, you guys are fucking crazy. It's stupid. There's this moronic fuck I used to argue with, this dumb fuck. Which, by the way, this person types me SCE sexual 6. Yes, and they typed Billy Hargrove EIE sexual 6, and they used the relationship with the father as a proof that he is not an 8 core and he's a sexual 6. So my response was, as you can fucking imagine, what? So because he was scared of his father, you think then he was beating people because he was scared? Like, are you fucking stupid? What kind of mental gymnastics are you engaging, you fucking dumb fuck? Like, genuinely a moronic motherfucker. Like, Billy is an 8 core, literally one of the most 8 core, obvious 8 cores ever. Like, he's obviously 8. There's nothing to think that he's a 6 or any other type at all. Blueprinted. This idea that 8 cores are badasses and they're not afraid of their father who beats the shit out of them, or it's stupid. It's stupid. Like it's dumb. It is so dumb. Like, aids are not superhuman. Aids are not gods who they will, no, listen, it's not even that weird, dude. It's not that weird. His father, that's his father. It's a fucking abusive father cop. The reality is the power dynamic is fucked. He has the authority and he beats the shit out of the kid. So what the fuck, man? What a stupid people. Can be abused now down to the even. It's funny because the leagues lead to. Listen, man. Do you think? Listen, my father was an LSE 1 core. Do you think I was like doming my father? Do you think I was my father? I was like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. I own you. I'm an 8 core. I own you. Do you think that's the case? Do you think I came home, my father was afraid of me? Like, think about it. I I I came home from school. My father was scared of me because I'm an 8. Like, that people have so weird. Like, he's a fucking, like, he's the father figure and he's the fucking uh, he's a fucking LSC 1 core, sexual 1 or some shit, and he has a firm hand. And you're a kid. You're a fucking kid growing up. So of course the power dynamic is completely fucked. So no, you're gonna be afraid of your father. That's the way this shit works. I'm sorry. You're not a fucking 6. You're just human. Welcome to humanity. When peak EIE. Roshiro, but this is not leaks, man. This is not the leaks, because I've read this. I've read this before. This is from one of the books. This is not leaks. This is not new. I've seen this months ago, but it's very true. Yes, I was reading this stuff. Yeah. It's funny, it's funny how AIDS struggle with authoritarian father. I had an authoritarian father. He's not like he was super controlling, but critical. I mean, he was controlling of thoughts. He was controlling of ideologies of, like, what you can think, and authoritarian. He was the fucking leader of the household, and critical as fuck. Oh my god, critical, like very viciously critical. So that was my father, and it's funny, and he used to be very much like into education. Like, you need to have education, you need to go to school, education, learn, which is kind of probably why I developed a strong aversion to education, like at least the education system, and learning, which is why after a few years of him trying to fucking butcher me like a pig, I was a good student. But then I remember I was like 16, I failed a whole fucking year. I completely failed the year. I completely started neglecting everything, started fucking it all up. I gave no fucks. So it's kind of funny. But I was reading about the social age childhood, and they said that they rebel against the authoritarian father figure in the education way too. So maybe there's some truth to it, or maybe I'm full of shit. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Yeah, and to be honest, my relationship with my father, it's funny, but when I got older, it got better. When I was more mature, when I was in my I was like 19. It got better. It was really the worst when I was a teenager. When I was young, that was the worst when I was a teenager. But when I got older, we spent more time together, and we got along much better. And it's funny because I wish he was here, because then I feel like I could get along with him. Because I'm 29 now. I was like 21 when he passed away. So I feel like I could talk to him. I could discuss life. I could have conversations way I couldn't have then. I was too immature and shit. So it's very interesting. But yeah, it's good to see someone relating to authoritarian motherfuckers. Anyway, guys, don't talk about each other's fucking assholes, curtain, right? Uh, anyway, guys, I nearly vomited. I need to go, okay? I need to fucking go. Do you think it's fuck? Fuck! Do you think it's common? Listen, I think it's common for eights to have one father. Like one father. Oh my god! Of course they have one father, but it's common for eight cores to have one core father. It's common for sexual sixes to have one core father, or even sixes to have one core father. I agree. I think that's very true. Yes. Anyway, guys, listen. I need to go. I'll think about this Gilded server, the community for everyone, and we can circle jerk the fuck out of it. Circle jerk it so much and change everything. Okay, fuck, dude. God, you're not helping me. You're not helping me. Jesus, I'm going. Thank you so much, Leon. It was nice to meet you, SPA friend. Right? Uh, I'm going now. I need to go. Take care. We'll see each other some other time. Gilded. I'll think about the server community. Gilded server. Bye bye. And meanwhile, you can check Gilded on YouTube, or just check how it looks. Bye. See you. I'm out. Thank you, guys.